Hey, friends.
Hi.
How are you? Welcome to the pre-show, to the main show. I'm
Hi.
freaking hot right now.
Same,
Why did it
dude.
become hot all of a sudden after like a few like normal temperature days at the end of the August? I don't
It
get it.
makes no sense. I mean, it does. Like, you
Yeah.
can, I mean,
Yeah.
come
You
on.
know what I
You
mean.
know, oh, oh, it's too hot. I don't like it. But, man, how are you doing? Before we get into this, because I know that I got a few, like, last minute, you know, uh, patrons to add to the list. I hope I don't forget anybody. That gives me anxiety.
I'm okay. I got a cold coming on. Shouldn't
Yeah,
be too crazy. Um did nothing but play Final Fantasy this weekend.
that's what I want to hear, actually.
Um so that's done.
Yeah,
It's a good time.
yeah.
Can't wait to talk to
Good
you
time to
about
be
that
alive.
ending, because oh boy.
How do I get to it, dude? That's my only
Oh
question.
boy.
There's just so many games between here and now, like or here and then, or like it's just
And a lot of massive
ugh.
RPGs. Like there's not like a lot of like smaller things. It's just
Right.
I have to dedicate all my time on this thing and I won't be done for another 60, 80 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's damn
Ooh,
it.
there is
Thank
a
you.
Last of Us story that I want to put in. Thank God I actually.
I don't know why that does that all the time.
What happened?
They
What
switched our cameras.
happened? Well, I'd like to be Kyle for a night.
No, you
I
don't.
don't know what it's like.
No, you
I just want to know what it's like, dude.
don't. Nah.
She. Yeah, let's put it in here. Let's put this in here because I want to know
It's
your thoughts.
Yuna.
Hello, Una. Hello, everybody. I'm very tired today. I've worked.
Gotta get yourself a Celsius.
Honestly, I was thinking about it. Not a Celsius. I like my life and I enjoy living.
What is that supposed to mean?
Energy drinks just can't be good for your soul.
I agree, but
Like
this
it
is like a
just.
different kind of energy drink. I don't like the Monster or anything, the Red Bulls. I think those are
Mm.
nasty.
How does this one set itself apart from, you know?
0 calories.
All right.
Oh wait, what? Oh, zero
Uh oh.
sugar. Zero sugar.
Right. So,
10
okay. So there's
calories.
calories.
10
10
calories.
calories.
For a whole
10
can. Bunch of
calories.
vitamins. All that jazz. 200
A
milligrams of
whole bunch of
caffeine.
vitamins.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the vitamins they're talking about, Kyle.
No, there's vitamin C, 60 milligrams. There's
Mhm, mhm.
calcium. No
Hmm.
carbs. 5 milligrams
I would
sodium.
hope not. Hmm.
Um, B6, B12, niacin, riboflavin.
Ribo. They put Ribo in the can?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god. All right. Well, maybe they're
Biotin,
onto something.
1,000% of your daily dose. I don't know what biotin is, but I'm full of it right
That's for
now.
your hair and your nail.
Hey, I mean, come on. Proof
Uh,
is in the pudding right here.
that's all right. Fair enough. Jeez Louise. Okay. I'm almost done. I added a last minute story
That's
in
okay.
here. All right. Don't
No,
freak
no,
out,
Robbie Bobby
everybody.
Miller, no taurine in here.
What's that?
I think that's like a Red Bull main ingredient.
Oh, is that? What
Although
about
it's dark in here,
aspartame? I heard that gives you cancer.
I can't see if taurine is in here or not, but
Yeah.
I don't think there is.
What about aspartame? Because that's a toxin now.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
It's not in there.
Fair enough. I was drinking some carbonated water, and let me tell you something. There was some aspartame in there, but I didn't mind it because it was delicious. So sometimes you gotta, do what you can. You know.
When can we shorten to? There's some ass in there. You got some of
I
that ass
love
in
it.
there?
You got some of that ass. Can you back it up? Oh, let's put the giveaways in here.
Ooh, yeah, Yuna. I will. I'll tell you that now. I'll say it again in the main show. Yuna asks, "How long did New Game Plus take me on Final Fantasy 16?" If you literally don't like, you do all your side missions, all the hunts, every extra thing in the first main playthrough, you can skip everything and only mainline it New Game Plus mode, and I think, and that's on like the hardest difficulty, the Final Fantasy
Yeah.
difficulty. Took me roughly like 9-10 hours.
Okay.
It's not bad. It really is not if you're just constantly
Yeah.
skipping scenes. Yeah, it was a fun time. Way easier than 7 Remake. Let me tell you that much.
1 sec. I'm gonna just yell downstairs to let everybody know I'm about to record this podcast
Okay.
with you, buddy. I can't wait.
It's too much sometimes. I wish everyone could get a glimpse of Joe when he hops on to record. He's always asking if I'm a cop, and I gotta say if I'm a cop. He calls himself a piece of shit. That's how he greets me every week. That's the Joe you don't see. I'm pulling back the curtain. Hi.
Hi.
I was just pulling back the curtain a little bit on you.
Why?
I was like, every week you greet me with I'm a piece of shit, or are you a cop? You gotta tell me if you're a cop.
Piece of shit. I'm a piece of shit. You got to. You never know nowadays. You could have been deep cover this whole time. Kyle, can I tell you about a pet peeve before we start the show? Because I found that we have almost 10 minutes before we start.
Yeah.
I got a pet peeve when you're trying to show someone like a show or a movie that you've been like amped to watch with them.
Yeah.
And they're on their phone. That's rude.
Oh, absolutely.
That's rude.
It means a lot to you. To even like suggest it, like bring you into your world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's watch this thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to be so jazzed for it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, real talk, I got my best friend Amy over here. And she's kind of a selfish bitch. Because I watch all the dumb horror stuff she wants.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm a good friend.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Some would say too good.
Eh.
Well, all of a sudden I'm like, let's watch Ahsoka. And then we're watching it, and then she's like, texting. She's like, I like Obi-Wan better. I'm like, of course you like Obi-Wan better. You've watched a third of this show.
Yeah.
You just absorb it, have fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I ask.
Yeah.
Is that a hard ask?
No.
Just watch the goddamn show.
I'm trying to remember the last time that I did that it really just hurt my feelings.
Yeah,
I was like so excited
on.
for something, and then it didn't happen.
It pisses that pisses me off to no end.
Yeah.
Like, come on. If I gotta watch Midsummer, you could watch a Star Wars.
Oh,
okay?
Also on the other side of that is when you are championing something for so long.
Yeah,
and you're
they're like, it's all right.
No, not even that. Is then they will say how awesome it is and then make it their thing.
Oh,
Like not acknowledging that you were like a huge fan of it, and then kind of like, I'm not saying multiple
they
people
hijack
can't have
the
but like, there's so many times I've said, please watch the Vox Machina Amazon Prime show,
Right.
whatever. I was so excited for it, and then somebody else who's never watched it before, it's like, oh man, this is awesome. I wish someone told me about it. Hello, I've been screaming it forever.
You son of a gun.
It's
yeah,
like that kind of stuff really makes me upset.
Yeah.
I know it's
Yeah,
not
I hate
like
that.
malicious or on purpose, whatever. It annoys me.
Yeah, it would annoy me as well. It would annoy me to no end. All right, let me get the chat up in here. Oh, God, Luke Lore's in here. All right, listen, everybody, if you don't like Luke Lore, but you love this show, please just make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. I am going to watch Hereditary, by the way.
I've not seen
I will
it.
be watching that soon. They say Hereditary over Midsummer. I agree. Luke said I DM'd you. What did you DM me? It's probably something like that.
He's talking shit about me behind my back right now while we're on a show.
No, he says, oh, okay. He says, I'm famous again. Witness me! ! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge designer hoping for a sequel. Other licensed beat 'em ups. This is probably from Luke Lore's interview with him. All right, Luke. These, yeah. Oh, look. Oh, you're even on PlayStation lifestyle. Look at you. Ooh wee. You're something else. Is that what you wanted? Make you feel good? Make you feel like a big man? Is a bit louder than Kyle.
Yeah,
I'm a bit louder than you.
I haven't literally have not touched it for weeks, so I'll see what's going on.
Okay. Who knows? Let's see. No, seriously, watch a Vox Machina, please. I'll
Also,
probably watch that.
We are getting to still can it. We are getting Mighty Nine, a cartoon, animated series, which is like my favorite group of the Critical Role so far. It's the one that I started watching from beginning to end. Those characters are incredible. That story is amazing. So I cannot wait to see them, that one in animated. I am so far behind on this season, this campaign. Like it's gonna be a struggle to catch up, but I need to catch up because that's the thing. I don't know about you, Joe. When you fall behind on something, it really just bums you out. And once you catch up on it, you feel. Well, I was just saying how like I'm so far behind on campaign 3 of Critical Role, like an insane far behind, and those episodes are like 4 hours long. But like when I watch it, I love it so much, and it makes me happy. But knowing just how far behind, it seems like an insurmountable task.
Well, you know what? Just because the way my work works, I just get to catch up on so many things.
You have an ideal situation for sure.
It's pretty ideal. Again, I watched Superman and Lois because I got bored and then found out I kind of really love this shit. You know, I'm a bit of a sicko like that. What can I say? Yeah. I get it. I hate being behind on things. Like for example, if I'm watching, that Star Wars, I want to make sure I'm like I have to watch it at like 9:00 when it airs because I'm a real fan. Not like all those fake fans out there. Jeez Louise. But yeah, so I have to watch it or else it gets my anxiety up because then people on Twitter are gonna spoil it for me. And that's when the only time I care about spoilers is for like Marvel and like, Star Wars shit. I'm very basic in that regard.
I also see that I'm losing pretty badly in the top tier polls. I didn't realize you tweeted them out, and listen, Joe had the first pick. It was an uphill battle. Would I really have had all of those picks on my team? You goddamn right I would.
Sometimes you just gotta get into your opponent's head, and that's when.
I'll get you next time. If you're not familiar, top tier, new Patreon show where we argue and draft teams of 5.
Turn WandaVision in a sec.
We did best boss fights for PlayStation. Has to be like a PlayStation exclusive first. Yeah, polls up on our Twitter.
Yeah, I think Green Gorilla said something along the lines of like, I think it was either the after show or the top tier where Green Gorilla's like, well, I can't believe like Kyle, like I think he's like defended bestiality or something like that.
It wasn't top tier because that was a Baldur's Gate discussion,
right? It's Baldur's Gate discussion,
and I 1,000,000% did not defend bestiality. I want that on record right here.
I don't know. You made love to a druid or something.
I didn't make love to anything.
If they shapeshift during, yeah.
But it's still them. Well, we're going to get into the weeds all over again.
All right, fair enough. They're still an oxen.
God, right? I'm going to have PETA coming down my throat soon if they hear that.
A wink. All right, Kyle, you ready?
God. Oh, jeez. All right, chat. We'll see you in a second.
Oh, wait, no longer greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 340 of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. Of course, this week, we're talking about the rumored PlayStation State of Play this month. Strikes have made it to video games, Apple and Amazon being the big competitors, according to former Sony exec, and so much more as we take all that 18 or 19 inches live on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/PS Trophy Room. Alongside me, the greatest co-host who ever is, whoever will be, the person that's taken all that Venom statue in, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. How are you, sir?
You are not seeing me on Pornhub. Let me tell you. That ain't happening. Hi,
Oh
everybody.
my
You
goodness.
know someone's going to do it now after that tweet.
No. Oh God, you're right.
I mean, come on.
There's gonna be someone very talented for the wrong reasons.
Animated or not, it's going to happen.
Kyle, listen, we've seen the tweet that was been read all around the world that broke the internet.
We also saw Ben Starr post a Clive picture with the caption 19 inches.
19 inches. If y'all haven't seen it, please check the PlayStation UK tweet where they said somewhere along the lines of, witness all 19 inches of Venom for the collector's edition statue, trying to boast the length and not so much the width, which I think would be also important, of the Spider-Man 2 collector's edition statue. Kyle, when you first read that tweet, how did it make you feel and why was it uncomfortable?
So I didn't see the main tweet. I just saw everyone retweeting it. I was like, oh, you know what you're doing here. Well played. There's absolutely no way you didn't know what you were doing in that wording. I'm trying to find the exact wording because it was very clever.
It was very clever and equally graphic. But man, how have you been doing?
Treat yourself to 19 inches of Venom.
There you go. Treat yourself to 19 inches.
Treat yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Ooh. That said, Kyle,
Yeah.
how you been doing, man? How you feeling?
Okay, it's hot. Very sweaty currently. A little under the weather.
95 degrees.
Yeah.
Right?
So if you see me in the video version, turn my head and blow my nose and all that nasty stuff, I apologize.
Yeah.
I'll try to be good about hiding my camera, but I already forgot, so I'm not I'm not making any
Just wing it.
promises. Yeah.
It's all right. Majority of people, they listen to it.
You
So as
know
long
what
as you mute them,
happens.
like, you're
It's not
fine.
like no one has ever not been sick before, and if you haven't been sick, what are you, Jake Gyllenhaal and Bubble Boy? What's happening?
That said, Kyle, I got I want to create a little bit of a new segment. If you don't mind.
Go ahead. Just casually wave that DualSense around. How just
Look at
very
this. Again, majority of listeners of the podcast, this is an audio show, okay?
Mhm.
But I have to show and tell for the live viewers. Look at that beautiful DualSense Spider-Man PlayStation 5 DualSense controller. Holy crap! I love this thing so much. This has to be one of the nicest collector's editions controllers that I've purchased. It's awesome. And the one thing that I really love about this controller here, Kyle, is the tendrils that go along the side of the red.
Yeah.
You can actually feel the bumps.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you could actually feel the tendrils. And I love the Spider-Man emblem on it.
Stingray says, how's it smell?
Oh, let me see. Smells like plastic.
Does it have
smells like plastic.
the Spider-Man 2 on the back?
No, so that's a big bummer.
Because Ragnarok has Ragnarok on the back, right?
Let me see.
I don't have it nearby.
It does. It does.
It's weird.
God of War Ragnarok.
I guess
the here.
Spidey symbol on the touchpad is, equal.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I like both of these controllers a lot.
Yeah.
I know the Ragnarok one could be, I guess, a little sexier, but I dig it quite a bit. But Kyle, I know I hate showing it off every week, but there's this Final Fantasy 16 one right alongside it.
How dare you?
Dang.
That one's also got Final Fantasy on the back, right?
Yeah, all of them but Spider-Man.
That's very strange.
I don't know. Do you think maybe it's like a
maybe
production cost thing?
Maybe you have a
maybe I do
a mistake.
Oh, I would love a Spooderman one. But Kyle,
I also texted you my address so I don't forget, so you can send me mine.
oh, good, thank you. Yeah, I got yours. And all right, if you rate us 5 stars over on iTunes or Spotify, you get a chance to win a Spider-Man PS5 DualSense controller worldwide. I'll ship this thing to I don't know, Yugoslavia. Is that still a country? I'll ship it there. We'll figure it out. Okay. Listen. I'll ship it to a Slavic state. I don't mind it. Okay. But yeah, rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can rate us. Also, get more entries to if you join us on our Discord server or follow us at PS Trophy Room. You like the giveaway tweet or post now, and you're entered to win as well. So you get more entries, if you're a patron as well, automatically enrolled.
It's still a tweet.
It's all right, fair enough.
It's
that being said,
you still have to type in twitter.com.
Until they make it X. You're right. That said, Kyle, I have a new thing to show off for show and tell.
Ooh,
the controller wasn't enough.
Oh,
okay.
Do you have the side plates?
Listen, do I have the
side
plates?
You have the whole thing, don't you?
Do I have the side plates, Kyle? God. Let me tell you something.
Oh
my God, this console is huge. This is unwieldy. But here it is in all of its glory.
That's beautiful.
The PlayStation 5 Spider-Man Collector's Edition. Also, tendrils, and you could probably hear the mic, I don't care. But like tendrils, emblem, everything, you could feel it. Ooh, it feels gross.
What's the word for that? What, embossed? Like you can
embossed.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so.
Textured.
Yeah. But yeah, really nice console, man. On the other side, of course, is just the black suit logo right there.
Ooh.
It's nice. It's nice. Seeing so many people with these plates, it's just really awesome to see. I don't know, like everybody's celebrating the game, celebrating Insomniac, celebrating PlayStation. It's just what I want to see from gamers more often, Any questions about this beautiful console, Kyle?
No, it's gorgeous, but I know I'm not alone in I would also love to share in the excitement of having those plates, but whenever they get put back on sale, they are gone within 30 seconds. I can't click the link fast enough.
Well, here's the big problem. So why I bought a second PlayStation was I had the opportunity to get this PlayStation 5 for about $200-300, or I could go on eBay and then buy it from a scammer, right, for about $200 to $250. So I was like, at that point, you know what? Might as well reward a business rather than someone that's scalping them, So that's what I did. So I nabbed myself a second PlayStation 5, Kyle. How do you feel that it is a disc version of the console?
I mean, obviously ecstatic. I'm so excited.
Yeah?
Yeah. Now you don't have to worry about that stupid detachable disc drive.
Well, now I just got to look at this dumb, stupid disc drive. I wish I had the option. It's just an option if I wanted it or not,
No.
That's the thing that really grinds my gears.
Oh, grinds your gears?
Yeah, it grinds my gears. I don't want this ugly thing protruding from the side of my console.
Wow.
That said, I do want to give a shout out to PlayStation. The transferring your data from PlayStation to PlayStation could not have been simpler.
Oh, that's
and
good
fast.
To know.
It took legitimately less than 5 seconds, or 5 minutes to just get my information from one PS5 to the other. So now I'm thinking the pure PlayStation 5, the discless version, will go downstairs, and that's going to be my recliner console. It's going to be nice.
Happy for
That's
you.
it, Kyle. Thank you. I'm happy for me too. I'm not done there. I'm not done with the show and tell.
Come on. What do you win the lottery? What's happening here?
I mean, theoretically, right?
Jeez.
Oh my goodness gracious! I got another one. I got another. So you go, Joe. As something drops, I hope it's not the DualSense. You go, Joe. Why did you buy a second Spider-Man PlayStation 5 console? That seems a little ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
Some would say.
Yeah.
Because I'm not keeping this console, Kyle.
You're not?
Is something. No, absolutely not. This is something of a preview of sorts. See, we're doing a little something called Extra Life this year, Kyle.
Yeah.
And that's where we'll be giving this away. We're going to be giving
Hey.
this away. We're going to figure out the details this month. We're going to nail it all down. And we're going to be giving away this console for a good cause. What's better than giving away a PlayStation 5 for not just charity, but for children's hospitals?
Yes.
Like, I couldn't name something better.
Yeah,
So
I couldn't either.
there you go.
So, yeah, I knew all along. I was not upset.
No, that was great acting. Because I believed you for a second. Yeah.
We'll nail down exactly how you get entries for or what the donation level will be, but yeah, excited for one of you to possibly win it.
Yeah, and I'm just really excited. You know, when I thought of this idea, and just to see you immediately on board with it.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it for the kids, man.
Of course.
Give away a PlayStation 5, but even like the coolest looking one. It's nice. It's nice. All right, Kyle. That said, we got a starter question for the show. I know this is a big intro today. All right, but I want to see what Ghetto Berry has to say. All right, and they write, as you can too, if you join us over on a Discord server, link down in the description. Ghetto Berry writes, good evening, squires of the trophy room. While we're being asked to treat ourselves to 19 inches of venom, oh yeah, it's coming back. And believe me, some of us can take it. Oh God, it got me thinking as to what makes the perfect 19 inches, oh boy, and by that I mean the ideal collector's edition box. To me, you have to have a steelbook case in it with a unique cover art, a sexy looking statue for display, and maybe even an article of clothing like a hat or a t-shirt. And then there's other stuff like early access, exclusive cosmetic, missions, postcards, gifts, etc., etc. So again, what makes the ideal collector's edition for you guys? Love you guys. Keep delivering the amazing podcast, all 19 inches of it. Jeez Louise. Ghetto Berry obsessed with. Well, first off, thank you, Ghetto Berry, for the question. And I know they're from the UK and they still use inches. So
appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. Kyle, what makes the best collector's edition?
Oh man, so steelbook for sure. Actually having a disc included would be fantastic. I mean, that's ideal.
Optional.
Yeah, statue, all the standard things. Clothing would be cool. Although I am the type of collector that is afraid to wear it to ruin it. Like the infamous Second Son collection edition came with the beanie.
Gotta bring that
and
up.
I maybe bought it or I maybe wore it once or twice. I'm like, oh, I don't want to ruin it. Let me put it back or until I have a place to display it. I actually really do enjoy the nods to like in-game things. I think the God of War Ragnarok collector's edition is stellar.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's no statue of Kratos or Atreus. We got that with 2018, but having Mjolnir is great. Having like the little wooden figurines of Brock and Sindri, like a dice. I mean, it's pretty. That is, I think, like the gold standard. Same thing with like Last of Us Part 2. I really enjoyed like getting Ellie's backpack. Is really cool. In addition to the statue.
Yes.
A lot of like in-game things I think is really, really cool.
I'm not gonna let you live down that. I'm pretty sure you said Barack and Sindri. Instead of Brock and Sindri. I think you said Barack. And then all of a sudden while you were talking, I was just thinking like, what in tarnation?
Oh well.
Son of a bitch.
You're welcome.
You know. Kratos, you old son of a gun. How are you? Howdy. You know, all that stuff. What makes a good collector's edition? That's such a great question. I think the one I have pet peeves. So, for example, not to poo-poo Starfield, but I think a lot of Bethesda's like collector's editions are gimmicky. Like, I personally don't want to wear a watch for Starfield, right? Like, the Fallout 4. Oh my God, I am not a Fallout. The Pip-Boy thing I thought was cool in theory, but then when you get it, it looks super like cheap. You know what I'm saying? So like to me, there has to be quality behind the collector's edition, like statues. Like the one thing that does worry me with Spider-Man is the fact that these statues, all 19 inches, are mass produced, right? So like you could still pre-order and purchase and get that Spider-Man collector's edition still. It's not because the thing isn't selling out. It crashed the site multiple times. It's because they know this thing is going to sell and they want to make as much money on it as possible. So like I'm always afraid of like having a statue that just doesn't look great. So to me, what is the must is it has to be a nice steelbook. When I think of nice steelbooks, I'm thinking of Horizon, both of them. Zero Dawn and Forbidden West steelbooks are beautiful. I have the Bloodborne steelbook, which is probably my favorite.
Hell yeah.
And those steelbooks have to have the name of the game on the spine.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Spider-Man 1 on
Yep.
PS4. Looking at you. Ooh.
I'll be honest, that's a very
Worst pet
lazy
peeve.
steelbook. I get what they're going for.
Very.
Not my favorite.
Not my favorite. Not my favorite at all. And then I feel in my heart of hearts, you need a statue. Like the statue is the must, and it needs to be something important. I think to me, one of the best collector's editions was Ghost of Tsushima. Like that
Is a good
Jin's
one.
mask is just beautiful. It's gorgeous. And then you get like the katana wrap as well, and I use that as like my little like cover for my table. And then you get the banner, the ghost banner, and I have that on my door, and it's a nice and also at the time affordable collector's edition with a nice steelbook. But like for me, I can actually like the patches, the like little figurines, I can do without.
I
Just
think
give
we
me
can
what's important.
both agree. I don't care about any pre-order exclusive items.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, you're gonna maybe use them for like an hour before you get like
Maybe.
real good things in game.
Yeah, they always for the most part feel like and look like an afterthought.
Yes.
You know? Like you'll like it's good starter items for
Mhm.
the first hour maybe. But then afterwards it's like, yeah, I found something way cooler, so I'm just going to get that.
And it's a common one too. Like it's another big pet peeve, and I think it's only happened once.
Yeah.
That I can think of. Wolfenstein 2's collection edition didn't even come with the game. Like I feel like
That's a mistake.
that should just be a shoe-in. It was an impressive collection of items. It was like a BJ action figure. I think it came with the jacket or something that you could wear, but like to not have the game, and that thing was like $300 plus a game. That's come on. Well, let's
Like the Mass Effect helmet collector's edition. It's like, give me the game. I get what you're trying to go for, but at that point, it's not a collector's edition. It's just like memorabilia, you know? And I know it's like such a fine line. It sounds ridiculous because it is, but like that is a huge pet peeve. If you're going to give me a collector's edition of the game, give me the game. And I don't care if it's a code or not. Just give me the steel book. Shout out to the Elden Ring, by the way, statue, the Millennia statue that's shadowed right now. But that one's awesome. And the Sekiro statue as well.
Yeah.
Sekiro, I think was that collector's, if I'm not mistaken, was around like 90 to $100.
Mm-hmm.
And that statue is better than honestly most of them up there. So
I will also would like to shout out the Order 1886's edition. There was two. There was like an ultimate and then a collector's. Both had two different statues. The ultimate one was really cool with like Galahad diving over a railing fighting a lichen. It was dope.
That was cool.
But I also, while I was working at GameStop, like the Arkham series is one of my favorite ever. And when Arkham Knight was coming out, they also had different iterations. And I pre-ordered them all. You can't see it because it's dark, but I have the Arkham, the Batman standing over the city statue, which is dope. But there was also another one that was supposed to come with the Batmobile. And they canceled it because the mold wasn't up to their standards. Rocksteady was like, listen, this doesn't look good, so let's just cancel it. And I'd rather them do that than give me a crappy thing. Like the Nathan Drake Uncharted 4 statue, that's not a great face on Nate. That's not.
He looks sick.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I'd rather
like he has the flu.
Scrap it, make sure it's good, and then
Aloy, the Aloy statue looks like her cousin Alloy. Like it's just it doesn't look it resembles, but it's not it. No,
It's
I
an
agree with you.
homage.
Yeah, it's like a nice effort, you know? All right, Kyle, listen, that was a long intro, probably the longest we've ever done. I want to get into some housekeeping, of course. The Trophy Room store. We got merch, baby. House Slanger, House Banger. Shirts and stuff and merch are there. So go check that out. Go support the show. Again, the PlayStation 5 controller giveaway that we announced on Twitter. That's right. This badass controller can be yours if, again, you like us, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the places. That giveaway ends on September 25th. And of course, I want to get a little serious with y'all. Um, you know, our community means so much to us, especially the ones that have been ride or die with us from the beginning. And sometimes we get, requests of like, hey, can I throw like something in chat? Can I get your permission for, if I could toss a link? And 9 times out of 10, I'm like, yeah, because y'all are the real ones. And this one is important for us and to us. So Famous Seamus has a GoFundMe, and this is what they wrote for the GoFundMe. Hey, folks, I have some bad personal news. Both of my parents have cancer. A few months ago, my mom was diagnosed with stage 3 colorectal cancer. I'm sorry, I butchered that name. Colorectal cancer. Thank you so much. She actually just recently began chemo. Good luck to mama. But a few weeks ago, my dad got diagnosed with an aggressive lymphoma and had to stop work. So my family decided to do a GoFundMe for their treatment. If you can donate, it would really be appreciated. If you can't donate, sharing the link would also be a great help. It's gofundme.me/D1B48B4A. Link to that down in the description. Famous Seamus has been a ride or die since we started the show in 2018. He is one of the best community members I know, not just of this community, but so many others out there. He's the most famous Seamus we've ever met. This is the only way that we could, we feel that we can help out in any way. So the Trophy Room ourselves, as a collective unit, are donating $100 to Famous Seamus's GoFundMe. Every dollar help. Even if they hit their goal, make sure you throw as much cash as you can, reasonably. Even if you're like, hey, I want to become a patron this week. No, that could wait. Go throw that money at Famous instead. Honestly,
as Joe said, like when we were first starting out doing this, most of the weeks, the viewer section was Seamus.
Yep.
He was so integral into us, making an entertaining show for everyone to listen to, and has been there from day one. So we want to help out in any way, shape, form that we can. And like Joe said, and Seamus said, if you don't have the money, that's totally cool. Money's tight everywhere. We understand. Just share it out. You never know who might see it and is feeling the sense to donate for a very good cause for good people. So,
and if you donated, please share your donation to us, because we'll put you on the Patreon pitch.
Yeah.
So please, for this month, you'll be on the Patreon pitch. You help Famous out. That means a lot to us. So that said, I'm not going to do the Patreon pitch this week because that would feel disingenuous, but I do want to thank our patrons over at Patreon. So our newest members, I want to thank our Platinum tier members, Liam Russ, Silk Cannon at the Platinum tier, and Decimy at the Platinum tier, all of them at the Platinum tier. I want to thank our premium producers, Todd Burowitz and Toxic. I want to thank our other Platinum producers, Jay Shea, Jedi Master Ren, Cowboy Danger D, Jonas Young, The Green Gorilla Gamer, Chaotic Monkey, Millennial Falcon Gaming, Ryuko Kill 90, Stephen Flesh, Strubles and Bits, Bertos Maximus, Chris, Hybrid 748, Matt Valdez, Chris the Wizard, and Solo. I want to thank our gold members, Cypher Primus, Doth, Simon the Pie Man, Jesse Garcia, JB the Purple Monkey, Hyde Indoors, Katie, Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Diaz, Marcus O'Neill, The Red Arrow, Aegis Hermit, Andrew Soar, Astronaut Jr., Winter Gamer, Robbie Bobby Miller, Brenton Zachary, Brenty Blob, Bubble Boy N7, Captain Logan, Final Fan XZ, Hambone, JD Dillinger, M9 Prime, Stone Cold ET, Tino Six Speed, N Johnson, Sean McKenzie, Rick Arrington, Spam and Bayman, Matthew King, Duh Overlord, Dewane Raksha, Rick Davis, Silcana, and Lord Commander. Suddy, thank you all so much for being patrons of the show. That's it, Kyle. With the long intro out of the way, let's just get right into it. It is time to finally square up the news.
Before we square up the news, every single time I start to talk, or like it's my turn in the show to read the doc, my nephew just decides to start banging right above me. So audio listeners, if you hear some banging around in the background, it's not your car. It's nothing wrong in your house. Right. And my nephew's causing a ruckus upstairs. Yeah. Anyways,
there's not an infant on your roof bouncing around if you're driving to work.
No,
you're fair.
It's not Halloween season yet. Pam K. Ferdinand over at Game Rant writes, rumor, PlayStation State of Play event coming this month. Sony may be preparing for another PlayStation State of Play showcase sometime in September. There have only been 2 such events so far this year, and fans are eager to hear more about some highly anticipated games and also learn what unannounced goodies may be coming to PS5 in the fall. The last State of Play took place in April, with the focus fully on Final Fantasy XVI, which launched in June after years of waiting. Of course, the excitement of these showcases fades rather quickly, and gamers are always eager for more. But the only news that fans got recently is that the price of a PlayStation Plus subscription will be going up substantially beginning on September 6th. Industry insider Jeff Grubb stated on Twitter that he had heard rumors of a PlayStation State of Play coming soon, and this PS Plus price hike announcement seems to be a precursor to that. But the extremely hyped and highly anticipated Starfield is launching on September 6th for PC and Xbox Series X and S, and a lot of PlayStation console owners are understandably feeling a little left out. A State of Play showcase could be precisely what's needed to cheer them up. You are muted.
No, I'm not. Why would you lie like that?
It's like, why aren't you talking?
I don't know about you, Kyle, but it's a little weird in PlayStation Land, as I say again, because like we've been playing some really great games, but I can't help but feel, at least the vocal minority even, but the social media space, everybody's kind of antsy, man. Like, let's be honest, that PlayStation Showcase wasn't it. No matter if you loved it or not, the popular opinion was it was, as the kids say, mid. So like walking away from that showcase and hearing the rumblings and rumors of like, don't worry guys, there's a second one. Sony's heard you loud and clear. It gets you thinking of like, yeah, I'm hyped for Spider-Man. Look I just spent so much money on Spider-Man related stuff on my PlayStation 5. And yeah, PlayStation 5s are selling like crazy, but it just seems like the energy in the room is not there. So I want to know what you're thinking, man. Where's the energy in PlayStation Land for you? Let's calibrate it here.
Honestly, the energy is pretty good. Like I'm not.
So I'm just being a negative Nancy.
Maybe a little bit. Like
enough.
We have Spider-Man 2 in a month, roughly.
But I want Ghost of
more than a month.
But I want Ghost of Tsushima too.
Oh no, absolutely. And like seeing like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth pre-orders go up like everywhere, just a standard edition, has me excited to hopefully get a date sometime soon. I understand that and I can get behind that, but I'm also in the feeling of like there's so many games right now on my plate and downloaded.
Fair.
And like even this one, I'm shocked that they didn't even mention it. Like Game of the Year just dropped on PlayStation on the same day as Starfield and Baldur's Gate 3. Like, there's tons of heavy hitters that are coming to PlayStation, and I can see the doom and gloom outside of December. Like, once we hit December and we still don't get something, like if this rumored State of Play doesn't happen,
Yeah.
I'm all aboard. You save me a seat on the freight train, because
Women and children first on this Titanic carrier, Kyle.
absolutely, I will just hop on the back. I'll hold on for dear life because I'm scared. Because like there's only FF7 Rebirth, and besides
Yeah.
that, like what is it that we are playing next year, other than like MLB The Show, which I'm excited for, but what else?
Yeah. And I think the energy's weird, right? Because you're right. Right now we're eating good, as the kids say, right? Look at me, all hip. I get the young lingo. But at the same exact time, if we don't hear anything of like, well, what's coming to PlayStation exclusively in 2024, which is strange that I'm saying that, then it's like, okay, it's time to feel a little alarmed. I feel like at that point, like theoretically, you got Stellar Blade. Theoretically, you got Rise of the Ronin. And yeah,
Helldivers 2.
theoretically, I mean, at this point, right?
Yeah.
And like theoretically, you have Wolverine. But those we don't know at this point or don't have firm dates on. Stellar Blade and Rise of Ronin maybe in the next coming weeks. I know Stellar Blade, South Korean studio, but like Rise of Ronin could very well be at the at the Tokyo Game Show. So like it's just I feel like we're all antsy of like, okay, what's this next phase of PlayStation? We've seen a lot of hardware, the PlayStation Portal, that's interesting enough, but like where is the other things that we get excited for? And when we see PlayStation not participate in things like, the Summer Game Fest, right? Or not take any type of beat in, or sorry, they participating in Summer Games Fest.
Opening Night Live is what you're thinking of.
Opening Night Live is what I meant, right? And Tokyo Game Show, and just like seeing PlayStation kind of just sit on the bleachers and watch people like Xbox and Nintendo kind of be at PAX, like interacting with gamers as you should. It's a little disheartening to see. But at the same exact time, again, it's a confusing thought because at the same exact time, well, do they really have to be at PAX, West when they're giving me, God of War, or they're going to give me Spider-Man 2, right? So it's like content is king, and right now they got the content. That said,
I will say though, it would have been smart of them, and I feel like I always think this. I don't think I've ever said it.
Yeah,
like PAX, for example. You don't have to come with the biggest games.
Right.
Like, do a PlayStation Indie booth. Showcase Goodbye Volcano High that just came out. Have Stray Gods there. Have maybe Little Devil Inside is there for like a playtest here and there. Just like
it's not get crazy.
I know. But like I feel like that is a missed opportunity because they love to just drop indies on their social media and blog posts and whatnot, but like show everyone else. Not everyone loves reading. They'd prefer to visually see things. Sea of Stars. Thank you, Silcana. I completely forgot. Yeah. But like give more people a realization, a reality check that there is more than just the biggest games out there. There are things you could play that are pretty rad right now.
Yeah, I mean, Sea of Stars is a Game of the Year contender. It's out right now, So yeah, I feel you there. I think there's some aggravation of how PlayStation is choosing to communicate towards its fans. Some of it they're starting to get right, like through their social media. They've gained much more of a personality over the last year.
Shuei was at PAX. Why was Shu there and not like making a bigger deal of it? I mean, obviously he's looking to see what he can grab for PlayStation, but
yeah,
make a bigger deal of it. Like have the PlayStation brand be taken over, quote unquote, by Shuhei while you're at PAX, and like show off cool indies there. I think that would have been a better served brand opportunity for social media if they did it that way.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be a nice way to show off again. Like, your indies at PAX, like just to have that presence there to be known. It's really important. I don't know. It makes me, it makes me a little bummed to see them not out and about. I think that's the one thing I get very jealous of the Xbox folks is like, Yeah, Phil Spencer's at PAX. They make a big deal of it, you know? Like they had the biggest presence ever at opening night live. Like they're trying their best. Look, they're gonna have, I think, their biggest presence at Tokyo Game Show. Like they're really making their presence known. Whereas PlayStation it just isn't. And that bums me out a bit. That said, Solo writes in just like you can too, and they ask the question, what do you want to see in this state of play to explain the service price hikes? What a great question, Solo. What a great question. What is there? Because, yeah, Jeff Grubb, you know, who kind of leaked it out there going, so there is a state of play coming. This price hike, probably the, you know, the hurt before the rub, you know? So what do you want to see from PlayStation that will justify, you know, the yearly subscriptions going up so much? I think that's something we didn't mention enough last week's show. This is not like monthly or quarterly PlayStation Plus members. This is for the year, but so many people have the year. So
Yeah.
that said, what would help the hurt?
It's interesting because it's different for everybody. This
Right?
is like a more of an individualized kind of worry. I can't just blanket throw out like a blanket statement of what,
Because you're not like an online gamer in the slightest.
I'm not, but like personally for me to like explain the hike, give me PSVR games as part of the service. Like I know that not everyone has a headset, but that would incentivize people to like, let me have this baked in library, so whenever I find a PSVR 2 on sale, I grab it. I have games to play already. I think that would be great. I last week I would kind of push for like all the PS classics, not just 3 a month here and there. Just like give me a huge long list of like heavy hitters after heavy hitters, not just all in one franchise. Like give me a wide a range. Like you might
19 inches of it.
Sure, a whole 19. Where was I going? The image of a 19-inch Venom just popped in my head.
Oh, is he throbbing?
Note to self: check Rule 34 later.
Oh no,
kids, don't look it up. Don't look it up. Oh my god, I'm lost. It's gone. The thought is.
Like more classics would be a great start. Not just like here's all the PSP.
Oh, like I got it. Like say what you will about that PlayStation console, like the mini PlayStation that had like the terrible versions of some of the PS classics. That at least was like a wider range of games. Like give me a month of like that many games every month. And keep them on there. Don't take them off. Just keep them on.
No. Yeah. It's that's a difficult ask. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna let you in.
You didn't ask for an easy answer. You just said, "What? What do you want?"
It's true. So why it's a difficult ask is like if I'm PlayStation, I do want to drip feed this because I want to make the catalog last for as long as possible. So like if I just throw all the PS1 games in there, well, that's one beat, a PR beat, right? One marketing beat. But if I keep just, you know, cherry picking the games I want to premiere on this, you know, service, all of a sudden I have something that lasts for years. So to me, I don't, as much as I'd be like, just throw all of PlayStation 1 on there. I want a PS1 game, PS2 game, PSP game, PS3 game, and the occasional Vita, because that catalog's slim.
That's what I mean, though. Like, there's so many consoles that you could choose from. That's why you can maybe put more than 3 a month.
And yeah, so like I'm saying like choose like 1 or 2 PS1 games, 1 or 2 just throw them on the service. I think that would be a better way of just saying, hey, here's all these PSP games that we found in our closet. Here you go. You know, for me as an online gamer, as someone that predominantly plays multiplayer, they do a pretty good job, I'm not gonna lie, of giving you like exclusive like Fortnite skins, exclusive Call of Duty packs. They do these little things now and again
There's Destiny
to
stuff too,
entice
right?
people. Yeah, Destiny stuff. So there's free currency back in the day, Rip Avengers, but that was there. So they do a pretty good job of here's why you should be a PlayStation, multiplayer centric gamer. That being said, I think the thing that they're going to probably showcase, for the premium users, because let's be honest, at this point, there's really no reason to be a premium user, is they're going to give you cloud streaming. Whatever the PlayStation equivalent of xCloud is, that's probably what they're going to be giving you in the premium tier. That would make premium worth it. I don't know about you, but if I'm able to play PS1, PS2, PS3 games all on the cloud, if I get to play the PlayStation Plus game of the month via cloud, I don't know, wouldn't that entice you to not just keep your subscription, but up it as well?
No.
Really?
If cloud streaming
Right,
was
it's very individual based.
Yeah, I spoke recently about it. It's just not a me thing currently. That's not how I'm going to choose to play. But if that is the only benefit from extra to premium is cloud streaming, then I'm bumping down to extra, because I'm never going to use it. But I have to make sure that is the only difference. It's like NBA 2K comes out on Friday. I'm a big 2K fan. I love sports games. They have different versions. The only difference between the mega big version and the one that I got is that the big version comes with a subscription to NBA League Pass or whatever, where you can watch any NBA game everywhere, which is a great benefit and all, but I don't want it. So I'm not going to spend an extra $50 for something I'm not going to use. So that's kind of how I view that situation of, if cloud streaming is the only difference, then I'm out.
Question: what if the collector's edition of NBA comes with a statue of LeBron James?
Nah.
Would you be in?
Nah.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm not a massive NBA fan for a statue. I just like playing the games.
But what if it's LeBron James from the famous movie Space Jam 2?
I would rather take LeBron James from Trainwrecked.
Man, that is a better LeBron. I think we can all agree that's a way better LeBron. But yeah, cloud streaming would be exciting to me, especially if I can stream my classic games there. Also adding the once a month, here's a really cool indie a Stray in that service. Hell yeah.
For this price, that should be every standard.
What they have right now, it's a really hard pill to swallow. So for me, it really has to come down to give us more features, especially on premium. Give us more monthly games in terms of your classic games, a broader, swath of them. And then give us that, hey, here's a really neat indie, PlayStation approved. It's on PlayStation Plus for the month. If you're a user, give me that Sea of Stars. It's not an impossible task to ask, because your competitor is putting their own first party games in the service for practically the same price.
And I mean, we've been dancing around it this whole time, but
go for it.
I don't think we're getting first party games day and date.
No,
that's a pipe dream, y'all. For at least for maybe a few more years. Just doesn't make financial sense for them. So I don't. Yeah. That's why if you're yelling at us in your cars or wherever you're listening, it's not happening. So
it ain't happening. Not when Spider-Man's about to come out.
Not when anyone's gonna pay money for it anyway.
Exactly. So Void Prime writes in. So after what we got from the May show from Sony, are you going into this state of play, if it happens, with an extremely low expectation, or are you keeping hope alive? Would be nice to see Little Devil inside in Stellar Blade, but I'm going into this with zero expectations to avoid disappointment. Kyle, your thoughts?
I mean, that's kind of what I did with Opening Night Live, and it worked out pretty great. Although Jeff did set pretty good expectations for what that show would be.
Really?
For Opening Night Live?
Oh, I thought you meant Jeff Grubb for the PlayStation State of Play thing. I was like,
No,
what
no,
tweet
no,
did
no, no,
you?
no. I meant Jeff
Oh,
Keighley's
okay.
expectations for O&L.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
if PlayStation, but they're not gonna do that. They're gonna like vaguely say like, "Oh, expect this, whatever," but not go into as much detail as Keighley did. I am going into it with low expectations. I'm just excited when they talk to us. I mean that is the biggest. Call me a child if you want. That is just
Right.
talk to me. Give me attention. Tell me
Yeah.
why I should still be happy playing on your ecosystem every day of my life. Like give me a reason to be excited in the near future. Far future stuff, fine. Just near future, the next year, what am I playing and shelling out money that I shouldn't be on your products?
I am not expecting Ghost of Tsushima 2. I am expecting Stellar Blade. I'm expecting a release date to it. I'm expecting Rise of Ronin and a release date to it. I'm expecting second party X-Dev indie. That's what I'm expecting here. And Spider-Man to end the show off with.
Yes.
Right? One last little trailer. That's what I'm expecting out of this whole thing. I'm not expecting, I remember the rumors coming out of the disappointing showcase of like, don't worry, PlayStation's gonna have another showcase. No, duh. They always have these every like 3 or 4 months. This is not news. Like, for example, I can probably tell you there's a showcase or state of play. Let's stop saying showcase. State of play near the end of September. I can almost guarantee you. Why? Because that's how it's always been for the last 2-3 years. Very surprised if it gets pushed out to, mid-October to, early November. So like they're definitely gonna have something, but keep your expectations in check, y'all. Keep them in check. And it's not like Stellar Blade or Rise of Ronin are bad looking games because they both look great. That's why people are so excited to finally see them. So yeah, I think this state of play is happening.
Yeah.
But
plus Tokyo Game
keep
Show's
those
in a few
expectations
weeks.
in check. Yeah,
it's good timing all around for PlayStation to talk to us about something.
Absolutely. You think we'll get that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth?
I mean, the pre-orders went live last week.
Yeah.
For just the standard. So if it's early 2020, it still was winter 2023.
Yep.
I don't think it's happening in winter 2023. Yeah, just give me a date. That's all I want.
Yeah. A Sephiroth statue.
Oh, what could, because the Mega Edition, which I couldn't get my hands on because I didn't have money, was the motorcycle with Cloud.
Yes.
Which is
what a
what
game.
would I want from this one? This will be a deep cut, not a deep cut. This will be a nod at people who played the original. Give me the Midgar Zolom on the spike as a statue.
Okay.
A Midgar
I'll
Zolom is a giant snake, like stories tall. On a spike. That's hinted at Sephiroth killed him, or killed that thing. And give me that as a statue. Yes, please. Or just the Buster Sword. You know what? I'll just take the Buster Sword, like the starting screen. I'm getting too sweaty. I'm just thinking about it.
Ooh, it's too hot to handle. Just give me Cloud in that cute little dress. Kyle, listen, we'll get to what we'd like to see, what our expectations are when we finally get this thing shown off. But until then, let's get depressed again, shall we?
Let's do it. So Mina Khan over at PS Lifestyle writes, Insomniac, among other game companies, possibly facing video game actors strike. The ongoing SAG-AFTRA actors strike may extend to video game companies, including Insomniac, possibly impacting the development of Insomniac's Marvel's Wolverine game for the PS5. SAG-AFTRA's national board has sought permission from union members to strike against a number of game developers in light of upcoming bargaining dates. Will Marvel's Wolverine game for PS5 face development delays? Insomniac has remained tight-lipped about Wolverine following its reveal, so it's unclear how far into development the game is. Depending on the outcome of the aforementioned negotiations, it's possible that the game's motion capture and voice work will be impacted. Work is already wrapped up on Marvel's Spider-Man 2, which is set for release on the PS5 on October 20th. However, the game is expected to receive post-launch content like its predecessor, and should the strike go ahead soon, there's a chance Spider-Man 2's DLC will also be impacted. Quote, here we go again. Now our interactive video game agreement is at a stalemate too, SAG-AFTRA wrote, announcing the strike vote. Work under the interactive media agreement also includes a great deal of performance capture, where trained professionals, many of whom are stunt performers, provide digitally captured performances used to give expressive movement to video game characters. Unregulated use of AI poses an enormous threat to these artists' professions, end quote. SAG-AFTRA is demanding fair compensation to keep up with inflation and protection against AI.
They're coming for our games, Kyle. These gosh dang actors that want a livable wage. What? How's this good, Kyle? What if Wolverine gets impacted by this strike? What if I can't play Wolverine next year, Kyle?
Joe.
Yeah.
What is one thing that every gamer has?
Games?
A backlog.
That's true.
This is not the worst case scenario, because obviously I want them to get paid what they're worth. They are so impactful for what the game, the end game final version of it is, right?
Yeah.
Like if you didn't have Christopher Judge's Kratos in the God of War games, that game is not nearly as good. Like and specifically because it is not just a voice. They are in there. They are doing the motions. It is the facial animation, everything. It's all them. So I want to make sure they get paid fairly, because like I'm just a big fan of people getting compensated for the work that they do, and make sure it's proper and that they can live and support themselves and their families.
Here's the thing, though. I really want Wolverine.
Well, too damn
and if
bad.
I'm in,
go watch the Wolverine movies.
I don't want to watch those. They're good. There's only like one good one.
X-Men Origins Wolverine game that was apparently pretty good.
I can't. It's too expensive. You see where this is? Like, my problem lies, Kyle. My games get impacted. No, this is like in all seriousness, the ramifications of this is huge. This is ginormous for games. So like, if y'all don't know, once if you're, let's just say, an actor, right? And you have a credited role on a TV show. Let's just say, I don't know, Rosario Dawson in Ahsoka, right? Or can't actually use that as an example. Let's just say you're on Law and Order SVU. You got a credit on the line, right? The show's syndicated. That means you guys get residuals on that show. So every time it shows up somewhere, you get a little wampum for it. That helps because
a little wampum.
A little wampum.
Like cents to the dollar.
Yeah. Now that helps if you're an actor or a writer, because when you're an actor or a writer, jobs can come, you get like a hot streak, and then it's aggressively cold for, weeks, months, years, who knows? So that money helps you out. Now, for example, Star Wars Ahsoka came out. It's amazing. I love it so very much. Rosario Dawson ain't gonna get any residuals from TV, from that show being on streaming. Right? As entertainment now moves from TV into streaming, actors are getting paid less because the shows aren't being shown as much on TV as they were. And now you get a show like Suits on Netflix that gets a second wind, second breath of life. And that is one of the most streamed, TV shows that month. Millions upon millions of people watch and listen. And now all of a sudden you don't get paid anything for your hard work. And that is troublesome if you're trying to make a living doing what you're doing. And you go, well, Joe, how does that affect me? I work a real job with my hands and my feet. Well, if you like your games, don't you want the people working on those games to be the best people behind, that microphone, behind the keyboard? Like, don't you want the best voice actors in there for the role? That's where I come from as a consumer of the product. Is I want the best talent in there. I want the best workers working on these things, and I want to make sure that they are compensated for their work, just like how I would like to be compensated for my work after a hard day's work. So to me, the implications of this is huge, because if this goes through, and let's just say from here on out, actors do get compensated for every time a game is sold or a game is streamed or whatever have you, just downloaded. Well, all of a sudden, the developer behind that keyboard goes, well, why not me? And that's where things are going to get a little sticky and a little hairy for the games industry. And that's why all these companies don't want that to happen. They don't want to budge because they know if they give, residual checks to actors, the devs, QA, all of them want a piece of that pie. So Kyle, I come to you.
Mm-hmm.
What if video games become more expensive because of this? What if they pass it along to us to pay for it?
Cost of doing business, I guess. Like
Yeah.
At this point in my life, I am okay with it just because I love the hobby. I love playing games. Will it absolutely suck? 1000%.
Sure.
But if I want to play the game, I'm gonna have to put up or shut up.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's just kind of where I view it now. But like, I also know it's like for me personally, it's for like an ethical reason. If it doesn't if it does indeed increase in price and we see games being a little bit more expensive, I'm okay with it.
Right. I would be okay with it as well. And also knowing that like that type of line of thinking doesn't actually add up to reality, because at the end of the day, what actors and writers are really wanting is like less than a fraction of a percent that would hurt these companies' profits.
Yeah.
It's minuscule. And so like that's usually like a scare tactic. So like for me, it's like, no, Troy Baker isn't asking for $10 every time The Last of Us gets sold. He's asking for like 5 cents. So at the end of the day,
or even
it's
like,
not really hurting anybody.
Or even like actors with big box office movies where like I'll take like a little bit of the box office. I can see that maybe happening for games, like the amount of units sold, a little bit per unit or something like that, along those lines. But like it really is to like think of, if you don't think this is an issue, just think of how many games are now touting, oh, we got this person in this game.
Exactly.
Like think of like the Alone in the Dark. Like, oh, we've got what's his face? Hopper. He's in the game.
Yeah.
Play the game. Yeah. He's in it. Like, it's wild.
Yeah. So yeah, to me, it's gonna be really interesting to see how this unfolds and where this goes, because I honestly think like actors, especially in the AAA space, have a tremendous amount of power here, because if they say, no, we don't feel like working, then we're going to strike. All of a sudden, production on games just halt. So with that said, Kyle, listen, strikes aside, I want to talk about the biggest threat in video games that we're facing as an industry, as I go check on someone knocking at the door. So take it away, Kyle.
Oh boy. Andy Robinson over at VGC writes, former PlayStation boss views Apple and Amazon as big threats to the games industry. Speaking at the GamesIndustry.biz investment summit, Layden labeled the likes of Google, Netflix, Amazon, and Apple as quote-unquote barbarians at the gate. Quote, right now we see all the big players going, oh, gaming? It's bringing in billions of dollars a year. I want a piece of that. And so we have Google, Netflix, Apple, and Amazon wanting to get a piece and trying to disrupt our industry, end quote, he said. Former PlayStation US boss Sean Layden, who was chairman of the company's worldwide studios group when he left Sony in 2019, said Apple disrupted the music industry with 99-cent songs on iTunes, and Netflix's streaming platform likewise had an irreversible impact on the traditional movie business. Quote, I'm hoping gaming will be the first industry where we disrupt ourselves, he continued, where it doesn't take a Google or an Amazon to completely flip the table. We should be smart enough to see these changes coming and prepare ourselves for that eventuality, end quote. The other biggest threats to the status quo in Layden's eyes are industry consolidation, which he said, quote, can be an enemy of creativity, end quote, and the rising cost of game development, which he labeled, quote, an existential threat, end quote. In 2020, Layden called overall AAA development not sustainable and suggested that game length and pricing may have to be adjusted to combat ballooning budgets.
And this is where we get the really complicated stuff, right? As we talk about AI and as we talk about, workers' rights and what is it, restitution for their hard work. we get to this kind of nebulous situation that we are walking into. Like, look at that. We just saw Volition Games, right? The creators of Saints Row 1,
And
2,
Red
3,
Faction.
Red Faction, closed its doors
Yeah.
after 30 plus years. Oh gosh, I'm gonna butcher their name, but it's an indie developer by the name of like Mimiki. They just produced a game that was like really popular, or not really popular, sorry, critically well received, and then immediately a few weeks after launching the game, we gotta close our doors.
Oh, man.
Development is getting more and more expensive, especially on the AAA side. You know, a lot of the times when we hear the marketing of, like, for example, Starfield, $200 million to make this game. To me, that's like, that's a scary amount of money. It means like any AAA game at that level, the studio's existence hinges on it. Like, we're getting to that level of like, one dud could take out your studio. I don't know, Kyle. I think that's pretty darn scary. And to see, and I want to know your thoughts on this, to see him kind of go out there going, we have Google, Netflix, Amazon, Apple wanting a piece and trying to disrupt our industry. We can do it ourselves. I don't know. I would love to get him on the show because I feel like that big juggernaut's already in here and their name's Microsoft. Like, I feel like they are the ones doing the disrupting. You know, Game Pass is a very disruptive service. You know, like when Jim Ryan's like, we can't possibly do what they're doing with Game Pass, I don't necessarily disagree with them. I don't think you can. I think Microsoft gets to make a really expensive bet because they are a $1 trillion company.
Mm.
So at the end of the day, Kyle, do you feel like this industry can disrupt itself? Or do you think it is going to take someone the likes of Apple to step on in here and go, hey, we got some expensive VR we could sell you?
Kind of just making like a mockery of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think it has the opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
And I think when it comes down to it, it's always up to us, right? Like, the people who play the games, it's up to us to make sure those changes are adopted and like welcomed in, right? Like, we're already seeing it where like the Game Pass subscription service is a big deal and people flock to that. So that is a huge plus, but what else can gaming offer to make it revolutionary, to really disrupt itself? What is that next thing? And don't say cloud gaming, because
it's Kyle. It's cloud gaming. We're gonna reach 1 billion.
It is
2 billion people. 2 billion people power the cloud. You know?
Yeah.
No, it's funny because like you just take a look outside of gaming, and you're kind of seeing it right now, where like all these companies are trying to make themselves their own distribution hubs, like Netflix, Apple TV, HBO, oh sorry, just Max, stupid, Peacock, like, you know, all 19 inches of it. You got so many, Amazon Prime, like just too many. And you're seeing them all struggle with the fact of, yeah, they're all trying to disrupt a market or be a part of this market. And it's too much for the average consumer. Take a look at it right here, right now, right? You know, last week we talked about how Game Pass offerings in terms of like money for services, both on Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, ain't what it used to be. Like, that's to me a troubling sign. That is a canary in a coal mine saying like, yeah, this is maybe the golden age of these subscription services are starting to wane, and we're now getting into the problematic side of it, right? So it's scary. It's scary to see someone like Apple that has billions of dollars to throw it in an industry that, at least for Microsoft, they've been a part of it for 20 plus years. Apple, try to play a game on a MacBook. I dare you.
Well,
You know,
to be fair,
it's yeah.
They do have Apple Arcade. They have tried.
And yeah, and Apple Arcade is like this flimsy service that apparently is pretty darn good.
Yeah,
But
it's not bad.
you're right. It's very it's incredibly niche, right?
And
Like I don't know anybody that I like that
I
I've
think
met actually using
when it
that
first
service.
came out, I signed up and played some cool things on it.
Yeah.
Now most of those games you can play on a console,
Mhm.
but now the more that I think about it, like Netflix is also in the gaming thing.
Yeah. And I also think like the disruption to the industry is already happening with these subscription services with digital, because I went into GameStop the other day again to buy too much shit, and I'm like, yeah, these deals ain't what they used to be. Yeah, I there was a game in particular, I forget, it's my memory's bad, but like I was like, yeah, I could get that for actually $5 right now on
Yeah.
PSN. Like the industry has done a really good job of adapting to, hey, the used game market doesn't exist anymore, or doesn't
It's
exist
barely
as
there.
exactly. It's not as relevant because we were competitive with GameStop. We offered deals that GameStop couldn't compete with, or
Mhm.
wasn't able to compete with fast enough. So like, yeah, I do feel like hope is on the way in terms of like us finding a way to make something like a subscription service work for the average person. But when you see PlayStation up the price of PlayStation Plus, you
Mhm.
get a little antsy.
Yeah.
That said, Kyle, last but not leastly here as well, when he says the existential problem of AAA development is it's unsustainable, and suggested that the length and pricing may have to be adjusted to combat ballooning budgets. I agree. I want my games to be shorter.
Mm.
Like, to me, I take a look at a game like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and it's like, again, another like 200 plus million
Oh,
dollar
yeah.
game to make. Game's 100 plus hours long. I ain't got that time, son.
Mhm.
Like, I love the Miles Morales. Hey, it's here for 8 to 10 hours. It's a great time, and I'm done with it. You know, I don't know. What say you? I know that that's gonna be like a hot take for some, but like to me, I feel like that could stem the bleeding for a bit.
I actually don't mind the longer games.
How dare you?
I also I apologize if during this whole segment I was like not engaged.
No,
I
you're
had a work
engaged.
thing popped up that I had to answer.
Uh oh. Uh oh.
I may or may not have forgotten to do something earlier. Oopsies. Not the biggest of deals. I'm okay. I feel like when it comes to the question like games are getting too long, is like, yeah, for us who have grown up with gaming, who's had gaming for a while, we're all like, doing adult things.
Yeah.
But for the kids who only get one game for a Christmas, a birthday, or a summer, 100 hours is pretty damn good for them to just
Fair.
live in it, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want games to just be shorter. Just like, would it make me a little bit happier? Sure. But I also do enjoy like just living in a game world for a long time.
Sure. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, then I'm full of shit. That's like Kyle. You know who's also full of shit?
I can't stand by that.
Neil
statement.
Neil Druckmann. He's full of crap.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
Vicky Blake.
He knows what game he's working on.
Oh,
Kyle.
yeah.
Take
no,
it
I
away.
know. Vicky Blake over at Eurogamer writes, Neil Druckmann, quote, can't say anything, end quote, about his current game because Naughty Dog will, quote, slaughter him, end quote. Naughty Dog's Neil Druckmann has teased that he's working on another game, but says he can't say anything about it because Naughty Dog's communications director will slaughter him. Talking to Entertainment Weekly, Druckmann talked about how, quote unquote, job is really strange. I'm given feedback on this theme park thing. I'm working on the TV show and I'm working on another game. So I'm just kind of jumping around at different projects, end quote. And after confirming that the second season of HBO's blockbuster, The Last of Us series is, quote, outlined and ready to go as soon as the strike ends, end quote, was then asked about the highly anticipated third Last of Us game. Quote, as far as the next game at Naughty Dog, I can't say anything. My comms director over there will slaughter me, end quote. As teases go, this one isn't the most exciting, granted, but Druckmann gave that answer after being specifically asked about a third The Last of Us installment. And given most studios usually immediately shoot down incorrect or inaccurate rumors, well, this has got plenty of Last of Us fans excited, particularly in light of those recent Last of Us Part 3 story leaks. As for the TV series, it sounds like we'll see around 4 seasons of The Last of Us's HBO show, according to co-creator and showrunner Craig Mazin. When asked how many seasons the show would likely need to tell all of its story, Mazin recently confirmed that, quote, 4 seems like a good number, end quote. You never know, he said. It can end up being 3 or 5, but 4 seems like a good number. Some seasons, because of the story we're telling, will need fewer episodes, and some will need more, end quote.
Ooh. All right, Kyle. Listen, Neil's full of shit. He's working on Last of Us Part 3, right? Like, he's definitely working on Last of Us Part 3. I would hate to see them still working on Uncharted, but I don't know how you feel about that. Do you want to see Naughty Dog working on a Last of Us Part 3, or do you want to see them make their space game?
Hot take, I just want to see a Naughty Dog game. I don't care what it is.
Fair enough at this point.
At this point, I'm going to play it regardless. I'm going to get the collector's edition regardless. In my eyes, they are a studio that I will blindly... It's like your obsession with Apple. I will just blindly buy anything Naughty Dog. Doesn't matter.
Fair enough. Yeah.
What I think it is, I mean, it would be smart to capitalize on the Last of Us hype, just in pop culture in general. That does make sense. There is a story I can see going back to Uncharted. I think ideally, yeah, I would love those two, but a new Neil Druckmann thing, a Naughty Dog space game, I think would be pretty badass.
Yeah, I think that's what I want to see from the creators of Uncharted and Last of Us, a new IP. Listen, it would be very smart for them to capitalize on The Last of Us. And I bet they're definitely working on multiple things for sure. But I just don't want to see them turn into the Last of Us studio. Like, I don't like, for example,
Absolutely,
I don't like how like 343 is just the Halo studio.
Mm-hmm.
That bums me out. Let them go out there and make another game, you know?
Yeah.
So like for me, I want to see them branch out and do something interesting. It's awesome to see, Todd Howard again. It's on my brain, so I gotta keep talking about it. Todd Howard go, I'm gonna do Fallout, I'm gonna do Elder Scrolls. Fallout, Elder Scrolls. It gives the team that flexibility of going, hey, I'm working on something fantasy, now I'm working on this post-apocalyptic thing, fantasy, and now, what is it? NASA punk inspired.
Yeah.
So like I want to see Naughty Dog stretch its wings as well and do something different. That said, do you think we get any news on this on Last of Us Day in a few weeks?
Not on a part 3.
Do you think it's the multiplayer project?
Yeah. Or the part 2 PS5 version. Like native PS5 version. Which isn't the sexiest of news, but like it is something.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think you're gonna get like one more update on the multiplayer game. You're gonna see a few more stills of pictures and shit. Mm-hmm. And then you'll get like, here's the definitive edition of Last of Us Part 2. And then I get to be depressed again. It's gonna be great.
I mean, like, maybe that is where the state of play is around, is Last of Us Day.
Sure. Did you see the like the hard drive article? It's like the Onion for gamers. And it's like Neil Druckmann, creator of The Last of Us, states, if players feel good after playing their games, he's failed.
And Neil even played along. He was like, where's the lie?
Yeah. Where's the lie? That said, though, I do like to know that they already have an outline for the end of The Last of Us. And it's not going to be this overdrawn thing. It's like, no, 4 seems like the number. Could be even 3.
Don't. I liked it. I don't care. Don't Game of Thronesify it. Don't stretch it too long. Tell the story. Get out.
Yeah. Does it have to be 19 inches?
Well.
Oh, boy. Oh, Kyle. Yeah. All right, Kyle, that's been all the big news this week. Let's get into some Flash news, shall we?
I'm on a list somewhere thanks to you, Joe.
No problem. Gotta run fast. Gotta get to that Rule 34 tab.
Yeah,
Kyle.
No, I definitely don't have that open.
I have 5 tabs open. Sony's E3 2010 press conference, the one with Kevin Butler revived in 1080p. Go on to the No Clip archives
Yeah.
if you want to check a look at that.
It's the Xbox
Love
one
to
too,
see No
right?
Clip do that. Probably, but I don't know.
I think Xbox. I saw Wario tweet out. I think Xbox also got a
Yeah.
1080p version of an old showcase.
God bless.
It's cool.
It goes to show, you know what? Maybe we were right by doing these online directs. Because let me tell you something. I tried to watch, and I get it. It's like it is a really bad showcase. But what is it? The PS3 reveal showcase, or you know whatever the fuck they called it back then. E3 conference, dude. It was so painful and so boring.
Well, what was it?
We're
2
talking
years ago?
spreadsheets.
2 years ago,
Yeah.
I made you watch the Konami E3 show for an after
Oh
show.
my god!
Just because that is, I think, the worst showcase ever.
Oh my god!
Please look it up. I'm gonna look up the year.
No.
I think it was the only
Oh,
one.
it
Just
hurts.
for you can watch like a highlight reel of it.
All right. Oh, it sucks.
I think it was
All right.
2010. Yeah. There's specifically there's a director's cut that's only 11 minutes long. You can watch that one. It's fantastic.
I love that. Director's cut, and I bet it's just all the cringe points. It's like, just
Yeah,
get to the cringe.
Absolutely. The wrestlers on stage fighting with zero audience enthusiastic noises.
Oh
It's great.
Kyle, there's been a Star Wars Survivor PS5 update. Here's what it has. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. The new Jedi Survivor patch includes several performance-related improvements on PS5, including a performance mode that has been completely reworked to substantially improve player experience. Number of GPU and CPU optimizations, along with disabling ray tracing, thank God, and has resulted in a better player experience, including a solid 60 FPS. Quality mode has also received optimizations to help reduce FPS fluctuation, VRR support added to the PlayStation 5, and much more. The game is stable. It's like the game maybe should have came out this week. Who knows? Still one of my favorite games this year, though. With all the bugs and all the crashes and all of it, still one of my favorite games this year.
It's
Love
good.
it so much.
Well, I'm glad that it's in a stable state now, but I'm not like itching to go back for that platinum. I'm close. It's just like I don't know. Finding
That's
all
cool.
those shards is tedious.
You're a Harry Potter fan?
I am.
Harry Potter sucks. Kyle, Star Wars is so much cooler. I'm only kidding. Harry Potter is actually really fucking cool. House Ravenclaw. Stray movie announced by
Wait,
Annapurna.
what? What'd you say?
I'm a Ravenclaw.
Oh, I thought you said I'm a Ravenclaw. I took that personally.
No. No. You give me Hufflepuff vibes.
How
because you're
dare you?
You probably talk to animals, you weirdo. You just mentioned how you'd probably nail a druid, you know? A Stray movie talking about cats announced by Annapurna. The film adaptation of Stray doesn't have a director attached, nor there any sort of release window, and while details are generally light, Annapurna also noted that it's planning to adapt even more games from its library. Annapurna Interactive has published a whole host of well-received titles like Outer Wilds, Neon White, Donut County. I want to see that show. What Remains of Edith Finch, Sayonara Wild Hearts,
Yes.
Kentucky Route Zero, and The Pathless, just to name a few. Kyle, this is dope.
This is awesome. Give me Sayonara Wild Hearts Scott Pilgrim movie.
Yes.
I'm there day one.
Yeah. I actually like this is the synergy I actually really like to see because Annapurna started as a movie company. Primarily, that's what it does. And so to see them go, well, we make also some killer games. Let's go make some cool indie movies. Makes me excited.
Yeah, this is very, very cool. Don't know if I would say Stray is the one to like headline it.
People love cats.
I know, but in my eyes, that is essentially just like Wally with a cat.
and you just sold me.
I didn't like Wally.
You didn't like Wally?
I know it's one of my, least likable traits.
Final Fantasy 16 update adds new skins, premium DLC in development. Kyle, I have the Final Fantasy controller. You don't. Square Enix has
I deserve that.
hasn't spoken much about Final Fantasy 16's future since launch. However, the company just announced a new Final Fantasy 16 update that adds numerous skins for free, as well as a premium DLC that's now in development. Seems like the game was pretty successful. The trailer went over some of the new features that will be in the update. Clive and Jill, Torgal and Joshua, and Ambrosia are all getting skins. Nailed it. All 5 can be seen in the trailer, but only the first 3 are named. Players can now also transmog their sword so it keeps the stats of the one blade while having the look of another.
Yeah.
Yes, please, because I hate the sword I have on right now. It looks stupid. Looks like a dumb dragon fin. Give me something cool,
Yeah, I had the ultimate weapon skin on for my New Game Plus mode, but
was
switching it out for new stats.
Respectfully, I really do dig the Jill outfit. I think that variant is so cool looking.
So cool.
And then also like the Clive one it's all right.
Yeah,
it's not my favorite. I do like the Jill one because she looks more regal.
Yeah, Torgo looked dope. Without spoiling why, Torgo looks dope.
Torgo looks dope. Yeah, again, respectfully, Jill.
Premium DLC has me excited because there are things that you can see in the distance of the worlds of maybe a forgotten icon.
Oh, perhaps.
And I want to know what's happening there. Do not know, now that I've beaten the game, how they're doing that, but I'm excited to find out.
All right, fair enough. I do want to get back into it. Can I tell you something? I'm working overtime, so I get a week of just nothing.
Ooh, good.
So I can nail out some stuff,
Absolutely.
It's gonna be nice. I'm treating myself. The Last of Us at Halloween Horror Nights. Of course, Halloween Horror Nights, huge. Takes place during September 7th through October 31st. Neil Druckmann was there. I want the shirt really more than anything.
I didn't see the shirt.
And maybe, it's cool. It looks really awesome. It's, Ellie and Joel off to the side and then a huge clicker on it.
Okay.
It looks awesome. It looks like a band shirt. That's why I love it so much.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Alone in the Dark delayed to January to avoid chaotic October window. Of course, Alone in the Dark was supposed to be coming out in October, but now has been delayed to January 16th, 2024. Smart move, Hopper.
Smart move? Yeah. Odd that Alone in the Dark isn't around Halloween time, but if Dying Light can make it work, it'll work.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's going to be the best for it because people are going to have that walking around Christmas money.
Fair.
There's no way this game comes out. Real talk. No way this game comes out alongside Alan Wake 2 and I pick this game over Alan Wake.
Absolutely not.
In fact, I think I'm going to wait for Alan Wake just for a few more days to play it on Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So good on them. And Kyle, have you seen this? Have you heard about this? It's our actually. There's no more Flash news. What am I talking about? It's one of our favorite segments. What you been playing, Kyle?
Yeah.
I want to know what you've been playing because you're playing one of the most anticipated, highly reviewed games of the year. Take it away.
Yeah. So I platinum Final Fantasy 16.
Oh,
I just wanted to mention that because it's talked about in the pre-show, but I want everyone else to hear it. New game, I beat it and then immediately went to New Game Plus. If you equip the auto dodge ring and you skip all the cutscenes, and as long as you did all the side quests and everything on your first playthrough, it's like a 10-hour max kind of thing.
Okay,
it's not too bad. Game's phenomenal. Right now, it is my game of the year, I think.
I was gonna ask. Is this your game of the year?
I think as of right this second it is. But as you just alluded to, I did finally start up Baldur's Gate 3 because it came to PlayStation finally.
Yes.
And boy, oh boy, as a D&D fan who's played a couple sessions, who obviously loves Critical Role, I've been excited to play this for a long time. And so far, so good. I will say I am lost, but in kind of like a good way.
All right.
Like exploring the world and running into like quests and dialogue options. The fact that almost every single character has got a dope voice and the performances are all cool is very nice. The companions so far are I'm liking a lot. I just ran into or just had a conversation with Gale about his drug addiction, I guess, for lack of a better way to describe it. That's very early. It's a few hours early.
It's the need to like absorb magical items, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. I had just had that conversation with him. I was like, what is going on with you? So like every single person I run into, every conversation, I'm getting more sucked in. I already have a long laundry list of quests and missions to go on. I will say the combat is getting me.
Straight.
I gotta get used to it. The radial wheels on the DualSense, it's a little overwhelming, for sure.
Right, because there's a lot of options.
There's a lot of options, but
it really is made for mouse and keyboard. I'm not like when they're like, "Here's a console port." I'm like, "How are you gonna put this on a controller and make it make sense?"
Yeah, I guess so. But like that is D&D. Like I don't know how they would put all those options in and make it like can't do face buttons for options because that's way too complicated. So it is. They did the best that they obviously could, and I'm just excited to. I did only save scum it once.
There's no shame in save scumming.
No, there's not. The only reason I did is because of what is her name? The Githyanki. I think I'm saying that right. Lazel. Laziel.
Yep. Laziel.
Stuck, captured in a cage. You free her.
Yep.
And then I didn't talk to her right away. I was like trying to figure out how to get down to her, and then she just disappeared.
Oh,
and then I looked up, was like, where the hell did she go? And she was like, well, you only have one more chance to talk to her for her to join your party. And I'm like, oh no, I can't take that chance. I want everybody. So let me restart that thing. Also, that character creator. Oh boy, I made the sexiest character in the whole world.
Oh,
and I am so.
Do you have it?
Oh, I tweeted it.
You tweeted it? Let me.
Oh my god, she's gorgeous.
You posted it, please.
No, I tweeted it. I z'd it.
So listen, we're talking about 19 inches. We're talking about zeeting all over ourselves.
You get the less horny version of Gale. It's fine. Gale. I'm just excited to meet Karlach eventually. That's where my tunnel vision's going.
Well, Kyle, we got to talk about your interests here.
Why?
Her name's Kara.
Yep.
Listen, and I'm not here to discriminate. Okay.
Okay.
I don't see color, but she is green.
Yeah.
She does have 2 demon horns.
Yeah, she's a tiefling.
Okay. And you're attracted to her?
Yes.
You don't think the horns are gonna get in the way?
No.
You know what, Kyle? You know, bigger man than me, because you know what? You can see past the horns.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you can see past the horns.
Wow.
And the,
listen,
all of it.
She's a redhead. That's a huge plus.
And that's also just doesn't mix well with the skin tone. She looks like she's always celebrating Christmas.
How dare you?
You could put an ornament on those horns, Kyle.
How dare you? Everyone, it's on my Twitter, at Mr. K-Set. I'm going to pin it so people can see it more clearly.
All right. Okay.
She's awesome. How dare you?
That's very brave.
How dare you?
Very brave. Honestly, no, because I made my guy in Starfield look like a legit dummy. He looks so bad. So bad, Kyle, that I'm like, listen, I know I've played 10 plus hours of this game, but should I go back? Is there a way I could go back to character creator? Because, like, I'm feeling pretty ashamed of how he looks. He looks rough.
Man,
Um,
I'm still getting over the
but
fact you're saying Kara looks bad. How dare you? Look at those
sorry.
facial features. She's got a nice little
Yeah.
scar over her eye. I want to know the story behind that.
Yeah.
She's got a nice
Yeah, I
little
guess.
tattoo on her neck. Come on now.
Been to prison. That's
And
a
she's a
woman you wanna marry.
paladin too. I'm playing paladin.
Oh, okay. Oh, God, we could
that
go
was
into
that was like a massive choice. Like, what am I picking? What class? What do I want?
And now, when you saved the Gilthraki, did you get like a mean paladin going, "You broke the rules, motherfucker"? Like, did you get that?
I'm sorry. The broke the rule.
Yeah, you're an oath breaker, and I thought I did something
don't
really
know
bad,
if
but it's like, oh,
I don't know if I picked Oathbreaker.
okay. Well, no, it was just like you broke the rules of being a paladin. I'm like, what do you mean? I saved your life.
Yeah,
You're an
no.
oath breaker now.
I haven't done. I have tried to look in like different boxes.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are they getting mad at me? Then I realized, oh yeah, no, that's their stuff. I can't just.
Yeah.
That's not this game. I can't just walk up and like take
Put a
people's
bucket
things.
on someone's head.
No.
Yeah.
So I gotta relearn that. Yeah, I'm having
But
a
it's
great
fantastic.
time. I can't wait to play it. I know it's gonna be a long one, but I'm gonna take my time with it. I'm not gonna rush it. I want to just soak it all in.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Kyle, you also been playing Sea of Stars for a little bit.
30 minutes tops.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's not because I'm having a bad time. It's gorgeous. Music's great.
Mhm.
I just was not in the mood for a narrative game when I started it up. Like I was like falling asleep. I was like, I want to give this game justice.
It's one of those.
So I'd rather just, hit dingers and we'll be the show for a little bit.
Fair enough.
But I'm so excited to get back to it.
That said, Bertos Maximus writes in. I almost forgot this question. Sorry, Bertos. Hey guys, just a real first one before I go into my impressions of Baldur's Gate. And question, I actually like cucumbers. Oh well, that's a bad vegetable. You should feel bad for it. All right. Now, on to Baldur's Gate. It is absolutely stunning, and without saying too much, the character creation is everything a D&D player could ask for. What's your favorite mechanic so far? Also, is this one you will platinum? As always, stay safe. Keep bringing us the best podcast out there. From your friend across the pond and proud supporter of House Slinger.
How dare you,
sir?
No, I will not platinum it.
Yeah.
That trophy list is daunting.
Holy shit. Like Divinity Original Sin was like, it's like a rated like a 10 out of 10 difficulty platinum.
No. I don't have that kind of time.
Hours. No, I ain't got that.
Maybe over the course of my lifetime, maybe, but I'm not. I'm not committing to it now.
You could get a symbolic platinum for that. Okay.
Yeah. Favorite mechanic so far? I'm actually a really big fan of the game letting you know what kind of options you have in dialogue.
Yes.
Right? Like, it's not like you're not going to get persuasion every time or deception or intimidation or whatever. It, like, picks its spots, and by talking will unlock other options. And I really, really, really enjoy that instead of just having, here's a list of everything you can do in this dialogue. They like cherry pick it to like kind of slow drip feed you that kind of options, because it'd be way too daunting having to remember everything all at once.
Yeah. Baldur's Gate, it's weird because I kind of have to agree with you there. It's just like, to me, the combat could be frustrating because I miss all the goddamn time. Come on, man. What's going on?
It's exciting, though.
I got the most unathletic, least insightful group of idiots
I enjoy rolling a natural one. Just because...
My archer's being played by Ray Charles, all right?
Just like you and Demio. It's like meant to be.
God damn, I can't shoot the broadside of a goddamn barn. And I'm supposed to save the world, let alone get this tadpole pull out of my skull? No way. But it really is like the conversations. It's like the first game in a really long time where it's like the conversations that I'm having, I'm actually really engaged with. And
Yeah.
that's usually not the case with me. It's like, let's get right back to me just hitting these guys with what appears to be wiffle ball bats. You know?
Sure. Yeah, that is the big one. Getting used to the map is a little daunting on PlayStation. Try to
Yeah.
rotate the camera, then I'm either way too far away or way too close. Like I do wish jump was mapped to a button. Because that's on the radio wheel, and I got stuck somewhere. I'm like, how am I going to get down? And then I forgot, I actually have to use the jump button. And Shadowheart just being left behind because she didn't follow. Like, I was way across the map. I was like, where the hell is she?
Where is my angry wife?
And she was way back there, so I had to switch to her and make that whole journey. It was weird.
Who are you going to wed in that game?
Karlach.
Who are you putting right
That's
now?
what I'm hoping. The Red Demon Lady.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. I saw Red Demon Lady. I was like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
Something about the Gilthraki lady. I just want her to be my mean wife.
Fair.
I just want her to yell at
choices in Baldur's Gate.
I want to come home late. She's like, "Where are you? I
You wanna
made
get
this
scolded?
dinner for you," and then just throw it at me. You know, real dysfunctional family is what I
Let
want.
me show you 19 inches, Joe.
Exactly. Whoa. All right. Let's move along
Awkward
here.
pause.
I've been playing a game.
You have.
Not a PlayStation game.
How dare you?
And listen, more show. Listen, let me look at this.
It's a good controller.
It's a pretty controller.
Really quick, shout out to the Xbox Series wraps.
Oh yeah.
I legit thought they were like the fathead sticker things.
Mhm.
Not like an actual like jacket with like magnets. That's super smart. I really like that a whole lot.
Magnets.
How do they work?
Man, let's talk about Starfield. Definitely a game that exists. Definitely a great game that I can see people give sevens for. People, first off, the review scores, guys. It's just it's like a person gave it a number. Relax, okay?
Chill.
Relax. Settle down. Jesus Christ. See people yell at Dan Stapleton talking about him being unprofessional. It's like, listen, if I got 3,000 people an hour yelling at me because I gave a lower numeral score than someone else, it's like, come on. I would tell someone else to go F off.
I know we made this joke before.
Yeah.
I want these people to have people show up at their place of business and yell at them for not giving the change quick enough. Oh, you forgot to give a penny? How dare you? I'm going to send death threats to you and your family.
Exactly.
I want them to get a little bit of taste of their own medicine.
Yeah. Miserable people, but I really like Starfield. Listen, Starfield has problems. I'm going to start by saying this. This is not the game I thought it was going to be. Like, for example, remember how we made a lot of comparisons to No Man's Sky? It's like, oh, this game kind of looks like No Man's Sky. This game kind of plays like No Man's Sky. I think that was a really poor vertical slice of that game because they did make it look like No Man's Sky. But there are some things in No Man's Sky that they could have taken from this game. So I think one of my biggest disappointments with Starfield so far is the fact that I can't just fly from space into the atmosphere, break into it, and land on the planet. It's all loading screens, which means when I'm planet hopping from planet to planet, I'm hit with a barrage of loading screens. The planets kind of feel like it's an amusement park rather than something that's connected and cohesive in terms of like space just feels like I'm in front of a planet. It's not like I'm going to go fly to Pluto. It's more like I'm in front of Pluto. Oh, I need to go to Earth. I'm going to fast travel to Earth. In a sense, it kind of feels like when you're in Mass Effect and you're going from solar system to solar system. That's what it feels like here. And that is a big bummer. That said, encumbrance. Please stop putting encumbrance on this game. At least give me more things like a bigger backpack so I could store some shit in because I'm over encumbered all the time.
I saw a really funny TikTok of some guy who just dedicated a whole room on a ship to potatoes.
Beautiful. I saw that too. The physics in this game are nuts.
Yeah.
That said, there's a lot of menus. ton of menus. Too many goddamn menus. Figure it out, Todd. Even with all those complaints aside, this is one hell of a fun game, dude.
Sweet.
I'm really enjoying my time. And the thing I've been waiting to tell you, Kyle, is the story, the thing you were worried about,
Yeah.
possibly the strongest thing in this game.
Yes, that makes me happy. That's cool.
It's very vague at first, but if you loved 80s anything that it deals with space movies,
Yeah.
it's all here.
Oh, hell yeah.
It feels like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy had sex with Indiana Jones.
Oh.
That's what this kind of feels like. It really does feel like a big giant treasure hunt, and I'm Space Indy with a whip. It's a ton of fun. And then it's of course like what we know of Bethesda, what we love from Bethesda, which is like the random encounters. So like, for example, I was just going to a planet and they're like, "Hey, do you know where Uranus is?" And I'm like, "What?" I get hailed from a ship. Like I'm just flying to one planet. Ship meets me. He's like, "You know where Uranus is?" I'm like, "No." I put no in the dialogue. He's like, "It's right behind you." I gotta go, and he just zips out. Like
that's great.
There was like some guy. His whole thing was like he was helping me out, but he kept calling me. I think it was like Chief,
Okay.
Bud, and like Al. I'm like, all right, sure. And then there was like this situation where I landed on a planet, and as I'm just walking around doing my thing, I see this ship just land, break out of orbit. I'm like, well, I'm curious. Let me go over by it. And I board the ship, and there's people on it. I'm like, oh, they're going to start shooting me. No, everybody's bewildered why I'm there. But I walk up to the captain of the ship, and they're like, all right, so here's the materials you're going to be smuggling. And I'm like, what? And then I was just like, lie, pretend I'm the smuggler. And I took like this, like a whole bunch of money and like a really like rare gun and like something else, like some materials.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, all right, I'm gonna go. Like, I leave, and I'm just doing my thing a few hours afterwards, and then I get stopped by the smuggler, of which he was the smuggler that was supposed to do the shady deal. And they're like, "You have my stuff. You murdered my father. Prepare to die." And I had a space battle with him.
Oh, that's cool.
It's awesome. And so like the combat is very reminiscent of Fallout 4, but it's much more competent of a shooter, which makes it way more fun to play than Fallout 4.
There's no like
no,
VATS,
nothing that I've seen. Well, we'll get to it. So there's no VATS from what I've seen so far. Okay, because I've just been going planet to planet, knocking on doors, and shooting aliens or people. And the combat's, it's not as good as Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk's combat, God bless, but it's competent. They've definitely learned a lot from it. Where the VATS are concerned is when you're in space combat. There's kind of like a FTL comparison where it's like you could freeze time up for a bit and you can like shoot at their engines. So instead of blowing up the ship, you can board them.
No.
And then that's when you get to murder everybody on the ship. It's really great. So like there's VAT systems when it comes to the space combat. It's space combat as well. While not the best so far because I got a shitty ship, I want to see how that goes. But honest to God, even with all the faults that I have for this game, like I was talking to you and I'm like, there's no way on God's green perfect Earth. If I was the reviewer, I give this past the 9 because there are some glaring problems and omissions for me.
Sure, yeah.
But then the other side of me going, numbers are dumb. I'm having a blast. Like this didn't take me 10 hours to get into. I was immediately into it. So this game is great. If you have an Xbox, if you have a PC, go ahead, try it out. It's a whole bunch of fun.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
No, you go ahead and finish.
No, because you could be asking this question.
Oh, is there anything, like, I feel like that Starfield Direct promised you can do pretty much anything you want. Do you feel like you are missing out not doing certain things? Like, are you...
Great
like,
question.
if you weren't doing space battles, right? Like, do you feel like you would still get enough quality experiences out of not doing that thing? Because I know it's all... like, you can do whatever you want, I feel like, in Starfield, from what I've read and listened to.
The one thing that that I like and don't like is it doesn't hold your hand. So it's pretty much like, yeah, there's this quest, but do whatever. It's very much like they loved the mechanic in Skyrim of like things are just gonna happen to you. A dragon's gonna land, and that's what this game is a lot. It's constantly dragons are landing and it's getting you distracted. The thing that I'm not excited for is the base building. I could care less about that. But the great thing, it seems like they don't care. So it's like it's there if you want it, but if you don't, it's totally fine. I'm really interested in the shipbuilding, and apparently that's super late in the game. But it's not like you can do anything. It's you'll get distracted by everything. At least that's what I've come into contact
And
with. So
are you role playing
yeah.
as your adventurer?
No, I'm actually so usually I in games like this I usually pick a pretty lady.
Sure.
But this time I'm like I'm a dude. So
Well,
I
I
it's
just
really
meant like,
mostly
you know,
me.
like title, like your background. Are you going full smuggler? Are you
Oh,
doing minor
yes.
things, or like are you sticking to those archetypes kind of thing?
Kyle, I'm an outlaw.
Okay.
I'm
I mean,
making
it
I'm making
sounded like
kids
you were,
orphans.
so I was just making sure.
Yeah, I'm making kids orphans. I think like I put on Twitter, sorry, X platform, that like every time I board a ship and it's me with Negan with Lucille. Like, well, little pig, let me in. Like it's fun. It's awesome to have a game that's not on PlayStation that I'm enthralled by.
Yeah.
Um, it's awesome that it's on Xbox. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like it's great. And I want to talk about this, you know, candidly and because A, it's what I've been playing, but like B, we gotta normalize. Even if I'm a PlayStation host, I'm playing some Xbox stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like we gotta like, not a lot of people do, and I feel like it's just very odd.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff over there.
1,000,000%.
Hi-Fi Rush, they got some beats.
Yeah.
May not be my thing, but it's excellent to be dusting off my Xbox, literally, and playing something on it
Yeah.
that I'm enjoying. So. Yeah, good on you, Starfield. It's crazy that you're one of my games of the year right now. Like
That's
you're on
cool.
the top 5 list for
That's
sure.
very, very cool.
That said, M9 Prime writes in, good day, gentlemen. A question for the Sony Pony Express. Yeah.
Yeehaw.
What would you say are your 6 contenders for Game of the Year so far? Quote, doing a Game Awards style with 6. The reason I'm asking this is asking this now is to see how the onslaught of AAA games coming this fall changes things for you when you do your actual Game of the Year episode. Also, apart from Spider-Man 2, what is a game that is coming, do you think, could possibly be your final Game of the Year list based on what you've seen so far? Kyle?
Mm-hmm.
Indigestion hit me hard. I
Oh,
apologize.
sorry.
You're deep in thought, too.
I was looking at my app. That
Oh, you're on
track.
the GG app?
Yeah.
Good on you.
Just to there's some glaring omissions that I forgot to put in.
Yeah. Do we count remakes?
Yeah, because I would put RE4 on that list.
Yeah, I was gonna say because like RE4, like that's there.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this question long and hard. Who? For me, as you think about it, I don't think I need it. RE4 is there, 100%. I think Star Wars Jedi Survivor is on there for sure, and I would put Legend of Zelda on there. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But this is the trophy room, so PlayStation only. Diablo
Okay.
4, Final Fantasy 16. Obviously Spider-Man would be on there. And then for the 6th one, I'm going to say Alan Wake 2. So that would be my 6. How about you?
Oh, there's a glaring omission. I'm kind of shocked.
I'm also very tired. I worked
That's
12
fair.
hour day. But
Final Fantasy 16. I would put RE4.
Yeah.
I'd put Dredge. I really like Dredge.
Oh, okay. It came out this year. Jesus.
It's not a game that released initially this year on PlayStation, but Rogue Legacy 2 is one of my favorites of the year. I could already tell Baldur's Gate 3. It's probably going to be on that list. Oh man, yeah, and then probably Spidey.
Right?
It's
What was
tough
your
though. Alan, Sea of Stars,
Oh, Fangool,
which
yeah.
is also like I only played 30 minutes of it, so that's why I didn't include it yet. But
Sure,
it's
fair.
gonna be tough. This is a tough year to pick.
Yeah, I don't know how we don't.
Yeah, like
I don't know how we
Spider-Man,
don't.
Alan Wake,
Yeah.
Phantom Liberty. It's a
It's
lot of games.
a lot of games. Good time to be a gamer, let me tell you.
Yes.
That said, Kyle, are you holding on to anything in particular?
Oh man, I almost said a
Prepare.
really bad joke. Continue.
Uh-oh. Prepare the drop. Here are the latest PlayStation deals and steals coming to the PlayStation storefront. On September 5th, Chance of Sonar on PS4, Monochrome Morbius, where Morbin rights and wrongs
It's
forgotten
Mobius,
on PS.
not
What did
Morbius.
I say,
Mobius.
Well, listen, dyslexia kicked in.
No,
I
it's
gotta
fine.
say Morbius.
Don't get the
Rights,
people excited
wrongs,
for Morbius
forgotten.
when it's not the thing.
It's true. Listen, I want a Morb. That's why I got excited. I said Mo, and I'm like, we're Morbin. PS5, PS4, Tap Pump on PS4, Totally Accurate Battle Simulator on PS4. On September 6th, have you heard about this one? Baldur's Gate 3 on PS5, Enchanted Portals on PS5, Escape from Terror City on PS5, PS4, No Son of Mine on PS5. September 7th, Autobahn Police Simulator 3 Off Road on PS5, PS4. Kind of counterintuitive to what the Autobahn is. Whatever. Lempo on PS5. The Many Pieces of Mr. Coo on PS5, PS4. Toss on PS5. That's me tossing something. Warstride Challenges on PS5. On September 8th, Anonymous Code on PS4 and NBA 2K24 on PS5 and PS4.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle. It is time for our favorite segment of the night and the last segment of the night.
Oh boy.
And it is the Sony Pony Express.
Yeehaw.
That's right. Again, you can send your questions in over to our Discord, link down below in the description, or at us at PS Trophy Room on the X platform, or formerly known as Twitter. Kyle, first question comes from Stingray X. What was your favorite suit from Spider-Man 2018, and what new suit would you like to see, want to see in Spider-Man 2? Take care, fellas. Kyle, what was your favorite suit in the original Spider-Man on PS4?
I'm not gonna take your answer because I think I know your answer.
Ooh, okay.
Shout out to Spider-Punk. I really like Spider-Punk.
Yes.
Like a whole lot. My issue with the suits are though, I am so boring. I want to play it through with the one suit. So like I will like on a new game plus or a second playthrough, then I will switch up with suits, but like I personally find it jarring switching between them throughout the story.
Yeah.
So I'll stick with the main one, and then if in the story if it gets upgraded, then I'll wear that one, but then I'll mess around with them afterwards. As far as what I want to see in Spider-Man 2, I don't care. Just show me something good. Some of the previews of like the pre-order suits, they look super cool.
Right?
Yeah.
They do.
And there was that Spider-Man Insomniac stream today that I didn't watch yet.
Ooh.
There were. I know they put out a Kraven picture. They put out the Venom suit.
Yep.
Miles was yesterday, or is that this morning?
That was this morning. Yeah, Miles and Peter.
Incredible,
dude. The honest to God, the Insomniac Spider-Man suit is my favorite Spider-Man suit. I love it. I love the whole design of it so much. I know you're gonna say mine's is the Peter B. Parker suit from of course Into the Spider-Verse because it's my favorite movie ever made. But the one that I kept using the most is the Spider-Man vintage comic book suit.
That's the one I was actually thinking of. That was not the Spider-Verse one. Yeah.
Damn, you know me too well.
That is a great
I love
one.
that suit so much. I love when they play with the art styles so much. But what I do want is the Peter B. Parker with his daughter.
Don't spoil it yet.
That's it. That's all I'm gonna say.
I know that's in the trailer, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Shout out to the anime one too. The other
Yes.
like shorter Spider-Man
Mhm.
suit, that was cool too.
If they're able to put somehow Hobby as one of the Miles suits, that's gonna be nuts.
Mm.
Yeah, let's do that. All right. Chris the Wizard writes in, hello, distinguished gentlemen. As a PC and PlayStation 5 gamer, I enjoy being able to play both camps of exclusives. But I was talking to with my roommate yesterday, and we came to the conclusion that many game reviewers tend to favor PlayStation exclusives when rating them. Do you think that that this is 100% merit based, or do you find that there is a bias, not paid, or maybe, who knows, I don't know, against Xbox exclusives? Not looking to cause a big ruckus, just looking for your opinions. Kyle,
Yeah.
PlayStation bias? Does it exist?
Uh, I think bias for any platform exists because you'll get the highest scores obviously for the sites that are mostly dedicated to the one system, but
Right.
then you will also get sites on the other side of the spectrum giving it a low score to balance it out. At least that's from me take. I'm not saying they absolutely do that, but that's what it looks like most of the time.
It feels like
It feels
sometimes,
like
right?
it. That's why every single PlayStation first party ends up at what 89 on the Metacritic scale,
88.
88.
88, yeah.
So I do think there's just bias all around. Same thing when it comes to Xbox games. Uh, I don't think it's like strictly just favor PlayStation, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I would hate to say no, there's no such thing. Because if we haven't seen, right as we went live, there's been like a Rotten
Oh yeah,
Tomatoes
that's right.
where a PR company was paying
Yeah,
for reviews,
that's unfortunate.
uh, positive reviews. So I hate to say that no, it doesn't exist. You're absolutely, look, I think what makes us unique as a PlayStation show is that we are open and honest with our bias. We are biased towards PlayStation, obviously, because we cover PlayStation. It's our beat. That's the thing that we, enveloped ourselves in. So obviously, Starfield ain't making our game of the year list because it's not a PlayStation game, right? This is a PlayStation show. It would be really weird if Zelda Breath of the Wild won our game of the year for best PlayStation show, or sorry, best PlayStation game. That would be really weird. So obviously, I'm gonna be way more, or I am way more excited for like something like Spider-Man for Starfield because it's just in my ecosystem, right? Also, Spider-Man's fucking awesome. That being said, you're gonna have bias towards a whole bunch of stuff. That's why I'm not a reviewer. That's why our reviews are more conversations. That's why we're like really not hard pressed on numbers. I just know for a fact most reviewers I talk to don't like the number um, because they know they're going to get shit on. So like when people are yelling at Dan Stapleton, calling him like a PlayStation shell, it's like grow up. You guys need to grow up. That's not what it is. He just didn't like the game nearly as much as like it's not like he didn't even like the game. He liked the game. He gave it a 7. 7 is good. Um he just didn't like it nearly as much as some other people. That's fine. That's an opinion. That's a review. No one's giving him a check. No, Jim Ryan ain't knocking on his door going, I'll pay you $50. No. IGN, those big sites, they ride on the fact of their review system is intense and it is rigorous. It is not like us where we're like, so what do you feel about this? Platinum, gold? Like
Because if
it's
they
like
didn't
no,
take it serious, then no one would take them serious.
no one would take them as the authority. And that's why people get butthurt when they see GameSpot and IGN give 7s and 6s out like those are bad scores. They're not. But like they're actually pretty harsh critics, especially GameSpot. They really explore that scale. And so, one thing we have to realize as consumers of these products, the hardcore people, no one gives a shit about Metacritic. No one literally knows what OpenCritic is here. No one. No one. Most people just go, oh, the game looks great. Okay, cool. And then they go buy it. They make their judgment call. Some people will check the score and go, okay, well, it's 7 means good. And then they just go out there, buy it, or they wait for a sale, whatever. It's the hardcore people that care. That's it.
And obviously the devs.
Of course, the devs, because bonuses are attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
And also they put a lot of time into it.
Yeah.
So like, of course, every dev wants to make the best game they know how to make. Some devs know what game they have before it even comes out because they pre-screen for reviews. Phil Spencer even talked about it. So like, yeah, it's or mock reviews rather. Sorry, pre-screen. So like, is there bias? Yes, but it's not in the ways that you think. It's not like I know people from IGN that are predominantly Xbox players that were, if they were in the booth giving Starfield a score, it would have been lower than a 7. I'm telling you that for a fact. So like, let's relax when we yell at Dan Stapleton. It does not matter about the console in which they play on. It really doesn't. It's about, are they knowledgeable on the thing that they're talking about, their subject, right? So like Dan Stapleton is an RPG guy. He's a PC dude. Bethesda's kind of in his wheelhouse, and that's why he took care of that review. Simple as that. But are there biases? Yes, but it's just not the way that I feel like many people see it as.
I feel like a lot of people are like, when a reviewer sits down to write the review, before they even boot up their computer, they're like, how will I piss off PlayStation today? Or how am I going to piss off it? That just, I would like to imagine, doesn't happen.
Yeah. And I could tell you for a fact, PR plays a huge part of it. Like, real talk, for like the people that got all the Starfield like coats and swag and all that, are you really trusting their review? Because they're getting free shit from the publisher of which the game they're trying to review, they're being critical of. Like, why do you think PR sends them swag bags? Right? It's much harder to critique something if you see a face to it or you have an interaction with the thing. So like, that's the thing we have to take a look at. Swag bags are cool. I would love a Starfield bomber jacket. Don't get me wrong. And it's not like those people are doing their job, but like, that's just an inherent thing that PR does. They want to form those relationships, because people are people and they want to talk to each other. But at the end of the day, it's business. They want you to cover their game. They want that game to be the best it could be. And sometimes, yes, there are some sites that are going to rate something extremely high because they don't want to burn a bridge. I'm looking at you, God's Geeks. Okay? Or God is a Geek, right? Whatever that thing is. There are people that are always going to rate a PlayStation game. I forget who they are in particular. But I think there's like always a place that rates a PlayStation game like a 6 or a 7. It's like, who cares? And to me, I'm like, who cares? I don't even remember who they are. It just is what it is. And these companies will go out there, and how they inflate their reviews is they choose who's going to pick the review. It's that simple. So they're like, here's the outlets that are going to give us the most coverage. Here's the people that are going to give us the fairer score. Here's some people that could be a giant question mark. Here's some people that we know are going to give us a negative score. It goes like green list, yellow list, red list. And then there's a black list. That's how these things work. So it's a big, complicated machine, but long story short, reviews are biased. They're just not biased in the ways that people want you to think at the end of the day. That makes sense, Kyle?
I can't really comment because I work in PR now.
All right. That's right.
I don't want to get in trouble or anything.
No, you don't get. Yeah, Kyle doesn't endorse anything I just said.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's all Joe's thoughts.
Yeah,
I don't want to get in
those
trouble.
Those are my thoughts and ideas. That's right. Kyle does a great job. Vicarious are great people. Please don't kill Kyle. All right. Or if you do, make it look like an accident. Cowboy Danger D writes in.
Several looks to the camera during that rant. I'm like, oh boy.
This does not mirror Kyle Stevenson's thoughts.
Or my place of employment.
Cowboy Danger D writes in. Question for the Sony Pony Express. What was the game that really made you fall in love with collecting trophies, and what was the reason? Was it because you loved the game, or because the trophy list was fun to complete, or both? Mine has to be Resident Evil 5 for the PlayStation 3. That's a good list. It was my first ever platinum. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and I just had to complete that trophy list. As always, love you guys, and shiny side up. Order 1886 broke me. I really enjoyed that game, so I platinumed it. And then ever since then, if I really enjoy your game, chances are I'm gonna platinum it. So that's my rule. If your game is like a game of the year contender, I'm going to make a good effort to platinum that game. If your game isn't, then I'll probably move along. But like for example, Resident Evil 4 Remake, one of my favorite games this year. I'll try my best for that platinum, but I make no promises because that one's pretty intense for me. So what about you, Kyle?
I mean, just enjoy the high score nature of trophies and chasing them and collecting them all. Hence why I have so many quote unquote cheap platinums. Still get the good ones though.
Still get the good ones. Still get the good ones. Also, a
a
mosquito bit me, and this is the
yeah,
worst.
that is bad. I'm trying to think of what was the first one that made me love trophy hunting. I mean, I think it's pretty simple. I think it was my first platinum ever. My memory is like a little hazy. I think it was The Walking Dead season 1.
Oh, okay.
Just getting it, because like all you have to do is play it to completion and you get it.
Yeah.
But I think something in that awakened it, like as like milestones, and be like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then I kind of like sought them out afterwards because like I'm trying to go through PSN profiles because I have it up for a later question. My current account goes all the way back to 2011, and I was not like getting trophies like crazy yet. That didn't happen until I think recently. I got a fair amount of Mass Effect 2 though.
There you go.
I'm 82%.
Mass Effect 2.
Only missing 9 trophies from that one. Oh boy.
Honestly, I know Mass Effect 1, I'm missing like 3 trophies, and I should go back. I can go back.
I need to play the Legacy collection.
Yeah, dude, it's so good.
Yeah, so I think Walking Dead, Far Cry 3, I was pretty big into. PS3, Prince of Persia. Yeah, I think it was around this time where it started to ramp up a little bit.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Brody writes in, yo, what's up, guys? Hope y'all are doing well. I gotta ask, who are y'all taking a 1v1 scenario? Clive or Cloud? Finally found time to get into Final Fantasy 16, and I'm loving both lead characters. Thank you guys for the content. I'm very excited for October. God, I am so excited. Kyle, Clive. Clive v. Cloud, I'm taking Clive. From what I've seen, what Clive can do, Cloud has literally no chance. Summon Ifrit and then
this is a hard question.
That's right.
Because, yeah, what Clive can do is impressive. And it's hard to combat that.
Yeah.
But Cloud is no slouch.
He isn't.
He's competent. He has the, like, biggest selection of material to choose from.
True.
And all the summons that he wants, he can also use.
It's also true.
I'm leaning ever so slightly, though, towards Clive.
Okay.
Just a little. I feel like Cloud goes through some stuff. What Clive went through is...
yeah, first 5
level.
minutes, Clive has been through more, you know? Yeah.
Also, hopping back, New Game Plus for FF16, yeah. You do not need to play those opening hour and a half.
Oh.
2 hours. Okay. It picks up right after all of that, so.
Fair enough.
Good to know.
Interesting. Green Gorilla Gamer writes, sup boys? Yep. The chaos that last episode is going to be difficult to top between Joe not knowing how to pronounce symbiote. Well, how do you say it?
Bowl. Well, it just reminded me of a How I Met Your Mother joke. I look crazy for just saying bowl. Symbiote.
Yeah, symbiote.
Or symbiote.
Yeah, symbiote. Yeah. Symbiote. There's no wrong way to pronunciate it. You know?
That's what I mean. That was the joke I was making. It's like if you say a word enough times in a row, it's going to sound weird no matter what.
Yeah, yeah, right. Like, or not knowing who 21 Savage is. Still don't know. And honestly, I don't care to look. And Kyle being a menace to society for not using headphones while gaming, or both of you hating cucumbers. They're the
They're not
worst.
great.
They're not great. You know what? You know when a cucumber is good? When it turns into a pickle. All right? I'll with a pickle, but I'm not with a cucumber, literally and metaphorically.
What if it's a 19-inch cucumber?
Think about it. Y'all are crazy. I'm sorry. I was crazy once. They locked me in a room, a rubber room, a rubber room with rats. And rats make me crazy.
What is happening?
Crazy? I don't know. he's going through a stand-like question. All right, question time.
Yeah.
I think we drove Green Gorilla Gamer insane.
I think so.
Has there ever been a time where you felt you wasted your time in a game? And I mean like truly wasted it. For example, I was playing Uncharted 3 and I was trying to obtain the continuous speedrun trophy for under 4 hours and 15 minutes. But there's another trophy that goes hand in hand where you have to equip different skin while completing the speedrun. However, the game decided to unequip it. Oof. And I know it sounds dumb, but I didn't notice. No, that would happen to me. And since I didn't play it through the whole continuous speedrun as the skin, I didn't get the trophy. I lost an hour of my time and had to start the speedrun over again. What tragic scenario happened to you guys? LOL. Hope y'all's week has been good. Joe, I hope your pup is doing well today. He has been. He has been. Thank you so much. Hashtag 44 days till Spider-Man 2. God bless. Every time in any RPG, I make the wrong choices when putting the skill tree together. And I waste so much money fixing it.
Yeah.
So dumb. And I hate that. I hate it so much that I'm the way I am.
Mm-hmm.
But Cyberpunk, I lost a lot of progress trying to platinum that game. And I remember going back for it was like a 10-hour section I did, I think 2 or 3 times. I was getting fed up, but that would be the game in particular. I remember it too. It was like I had to go beat up a guy over and over again. A vicious cycle. Yeah.
I also, I mean, right along with Green Gorilla here, the Uncharted 4 speedrun trophy. It took me 5 attempts. Finally got it on stream, which was kind of cool. But the second or third one, I distinctly remember I was like, oh, great. I got enough time. Maybe a minute or so. I should be good. I got it.
Yeah.
And towards the end of Uncharted 4, there's a section where you are sliding down like mudslides, whatever, and you have to jump to avoid the gaps or jump to a rope, whatever. I kept mistiming the jump, and I died like 3 or 4 times in a row, and I was over time by maybe 30-40 seconds. And I'm like, I got so mad. I got
Speedruns are garbage.
So mad. It took me a while for me to go back and reattempt it, because like that's a full 6 hours just gone.
Yeah. It's bullshit.
It's bad.
I'm just saying. Bad.
That is like the biggest one that I can think of. Yeah, that was rough. Oh, there is a Ratchet one too. I'm sorry, Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus on PS3.
Tell me about it.
I had 1 trophy left to get enough bolts to buy all the weapons, whatever. And I got to a point it was like my 3rd playthrough. I fell through the world, and it auto saved me right there.
Oh, fuck.
And I was like, you know what?
Goodness.
I'm walking away. I can't redo this all. I'm done.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah.
Couldn't be me. Maximum Carnage writes, greetings, Mr. K-Bit and Mr. Bad Step. This question, you thought you got me there, Carnage? Not even close. This question is aimed at Kyle, but as Joe is slowly opening his heart to the greatness that is Final Fantasy, please feel free to chime in. I've never been one for mobile gaming, but as a diehard Final Fantasy fan, and whilst I'm currently in possession of a newish phone that has not yet succumbed to the effects of battery cancer, I am curious to check out Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. Square Enix has teased some backstory for Sephiroth, and I'm totally sold on that idea alone. So, will you guys be checking it out Ever Crisis when it releases tomorrow? Probably not.
I won't be, and it makes me sad because everything
You
about
don't
it.
have a phone?
No, I do.
Guys don't have phones?
What's with that creepy ass smile? What's going on?
What do you mean? This is how I normally smile.
The reason why I'm not checking out because it is essentially like the original PS1 game remake that I think some people wanted, at least art style wise and the way the story is
Okay.
told. There's a lot of pay to win stuff going on. I think
A
with
mobile
Ever
game.
Crisis. Yeah. That bums
Yeah.
me out big time.
Yeah.
I would like to hopefully eventually it comes to like Switch or something. Or
Okay.
or console, then I'll check it out there. But when I saw that a few weeks ago, I was like, man, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't mess with mobile, so like, couldn't be me. Again, like cloud gaming, I'm trying to slowly get into, but
Yeah.
mobile gaming, probably never.
And
You're
I
never
have
gonna see me with
I
a
have
mobile podcast.
so many RPGs right now.
Fair. It's too
I
many.
can't add another one.
It's too many. Last question of the night comes from Yuna. Hey guys, hope you're both doing well today. My question for the week is, do you ever write down goals for your games, even if it's just story completion items? I joined the site Completionator last week, and it lets you set your goals for completion. So I do that as a way to know how far I am through the game. Which leads me to my question. So I throw the ball over to you guys. Do you set goals for your games or not? Yes. But I don't like write them down. I have like I'm going to hit level 92 in Diablo tonight. How am I going to do that? I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And that's how I usually do it. If it's an RPG, that's how I'm trying it. Like World of Warcraft, actually a huge thing. Where like I plot mentally where I would go for my like how to get to level 100 the fastest. So like I would know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
What about you?
I try not to, because then it just I put too much pressure on myself as is, and I feel like if I don't complete those goals, it's even more pressure.
Yeah.
I try not to, but every once in a while I'll do something fun. Like when PS5 came out, I was like, Bugsnax is gonna be my 50th platinum. Like silly things like that. Now I'm over 300. It's wild.
Yeah.
So like those kind of goals are fun, but it's in-game goals. Like I'm gonna get to this story beat by this day, whatever. It's just not my jam. But more power to everyone that does that. That takes dedication and real restraint, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, Kyle, listen, that's been this week's trophy room. A PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. So before we get on out of here, I gotta bring the PlayStation 5 out here again, because you know what?
Oh boy.
I just love this thing. I just love it so much. And I just want to kind of show off a little bit, you know?
Watch out for that symbiote.
It's a symbiote. Yeah. Symbiote.
Not okay. This is not me trolling.
Symbiote.
This is not me making a joke.
Symbiote. Symbiote.
Is the PS5 the same height as the Venom statue? Is that 19 inches?
There's only one way to find out, but that's for the after show. You know what I'm saying?
Let me see. PS5 height.
No, I actually think the Venom
Standing
statue might
upright,
be...
yeah, that's 15.4 inches.
So the Venom statue
It's
is
taller
bigger
than the
this.
PS5, yeah.
Okay, so think about this, guy. All right?
Oh no.
The Venom statue is bigger than this PS5, and one would have to say there's certain parts that are definitely thicker. All right,
Uh-huh.
you really think you could fit it? The way
No, I never thought I could.
You really think so?
No.
Well, listen. With enough perseverance and lube, you can make anything possible. I did not endorse anything I just said there again. Please.
No, I'm just laughing on mute.
Fair enough.
Listen,
Listen, Costco doesn't sell that literal barrel of lube for no reason in particular, all right? For times like these. Are you a real fan, Kyle? Are you a real fan?
I just can't.
Because real Spider-Man fans would go Venom deep.
Like your mom went Knuckles deep with Idris?
Exactly.
I just can't stop thinking of, like, you tell kids, don't give up. Don't let your dreams just be dream. You can accomplish anything that you put your mind to. And that being the example that Joe comes to tell.
That's right. Don't let your dreams become dreams. You can do anything you set your mind to.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I shouldn't have brought it up.
What? I was just saying, I was being intense about it.
Oh, boy.
Kyle, is there anything you'd like to spill where we get on out of here? This heat's really made us go kooky crazy the last 5 minutes.
It's bad.
That's right.
Yeah, I like to spotlight myself, Mr. K-Step, pretty much everywhere. If you missed it, go check out the 6-1 mini indie showcase that went live last week, which is wild. To think we're a week from it, that's crazy. Did you watch it yet?
What, the mini indie showcase?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just thinking about
going back to the beginning of this episode. How dare you? Anyways, it's 61indie.com. You can check it out there.
I was just thinking like the
Podcast
dimensions
services.
of the statue. I wish I was lying.
Oh my god. Now I'm mad. Go ahead.
You can find me over at Mr. Badbit. You can find the show over at PS Trophy Room on platform formerly known as Twitter. You can find the show wherever you get your podcast service of choice, whether that's Spotify, whether that's Apple Podcasts. You rate us 5 stars. Listen, if you made it this far, might as well. And you get entered to win this beautiful little thing right here. All right? Look at it. This DualSense. Spider-Man. Collectors. It's fancy that. And again, I'll ship it anywhere around the world. Greece? Yeah. Absolutely, I would. You can follow me over at Mr. Badbit on Twitter. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody, keep your wits about you. Keep hunting. And keep playing PlayStation. Have a nice one.
Bye. I love you. Except for Joe. Love you.
Fair enough.
We're off.
Venom.